KUAM-FM, Hagåtña, Guam. You're listening to The Link with Chris and Sabrina on Breeze 93.9.
Checking out all the clubs. See the pretty ladies on the street, yeah. So pretty you fall in love. Island girls everywhere you go. Gotta give shouts out to our local girls. A little island out in the sea. Short drives everywhere. That's fine with me. The local boys are cruising in, we're checking out the scene. Gotta find the women, where can they be? Cause I say, love for an island is what we do. Lovely women, beautiful beaches, just to name a few, Fiestas and barbecues, that's what we like, Love for an island, it makes you feel alright. Cause I say, alright, it makes you feel 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 alright. Cruising down the island now, you're checking out the green. Makes you feel at home, baby, do you know what I mean? It may be hot, it may be small, but remember, old tomorrows will stand tall. Cause I say, love for an island is what we do, Lovely women, beautiful beaches, just to name a few, Fiestas and barbecues, that's what we like, Love for an island, it makes you feel alright. Cause I say, alright, it makes you feel 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 alright. Lovely women, beautiful beaches, just to name a few, Fiestas and barbecues, that's what we like, Love for an island, it makes you feel alright. Cause I say, alright, it makes you feel 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 alright. Island songs are strictly for the islands. We give it shouts out to everybody. Island songs are for the fighting units. Can't give these get up, get groovy, say rockin' the island. Island songs are for the get up and skank now. Put your hands together, then we clap to the beat now. Island songs are for strictly for the islands. We give it shouts out to everybody. Sing love for an island is what we do, Lovely women, beautiful beaches, just to name a few, Fiestas and barbecues, that's what we like, Love for an island, it makes you feel alright. Cause I said, it makes you feel alright, it makes you feel alright, it makes you feel alright.
Sabrina with The Link here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Let me surprise you with your favorite things. Dance with me by the ocean under the moonlight, 'cause I'm loving how it shines on you as the sweet, sweet scent of your perfume just takes me away to a land of peace, near the sea of love, near the gardens of nature in the heavens above. And I know it's real, more than a dream, when you're alone with me and just falling in love right here in paradise. Ooh, I hope you're loving the view. Let this tropical breeze set you in the mood. Just falling in love right here in paradise. Ooh, I hope you're loving the view. Let this tropical breeze set you in the mood. Oh, ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I bet you're tasting like coconut candy. Oh, honey, may I take a bite in this love story? Let your uncle the gun move shake with no worry. And tomorrow we been doing it all over again. I bet you're tasting like coconat candy. Oh, honey, may I take a bite in this love story? Let your uncle the gun move shake with no worry. And tomorrow we be doing it all over again. Just falling in love right here in paradise. Ooh, I hope you're loving the view. Let this tropical breeze set you in the mood. Just falling in love right here in paradise. Ooh, I hope you're loving the view. Let this tropical breeze set you in the mood. Sing, ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Ooh, na 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 na, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I bet you're tasting like coconut candy. Oh, honey, may I take a bite? This love story. Let your uncle the gun move shake with no worry. And tomorrow we be doing it all over again.
Go signa uli di sombranza e zu ita saluda antes di niga razzauzan malak estrezas durante todo il memu a no distancia como kupugi palu zaniman malak guafi ikonum nasugi airi prebatu la noci nai banderata caigui, pues Aten Fanny Bandera Ko esta pagua pumalapa Giluk tanu man libri Sentamiti man ko badi
Fanogi chamoru Politanota Kantai matunonya gitoru iluga Paraiona Parai gloria Abiba isla senpara Paraiona, Parai gloria, Abiba isla senpara. Toru I tempo I pas, paraita, zangini langit na bendition. Contra peligro na avança fuam Deus proteis langom Contra peligro na avança fuam Deus proteis
that I call home, but she's calling my name. Yeah, she's calling my name. Miles from her beautiful blue seas, but I'm playing the game, trying to get to this fame. Oh, oh. Think about what I've earned and what's given. Think about my future and my love. Play some ball, mess around and switch it up. Mix some C's with some B's and make a book. Too many trees, they be starting to hurt my lungs. In the box doing nothing that they flown. What the hell am I doing? I got to run now. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I got some hearts to fill and break free from this habit of negativity. Oh damn weak, that be sticking to me like macaroni in K3. I'm far away from the comfort of my bed, but it's all good just as long as I can keep my head. Yeah, I'll be back, don't you worry about that. But first I gotta get on track and make some tracks now. Miles from the place that I call home, but she's calling my name. Yeah, she's calling my name. Miles from her beautiful blue sea, and I'm playing the game. Yeah, I'm playing the game. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got 200-300 in my wallet. I check the phone, see that nobody is calling. On the TV, everyone is balling like they stalling, but I'm stalling 'cause I'm all in. I think about the nice weather, 'cause I'm freezing in a big sweater. Haven't talked to G, Josh, even Mr. Sweller. Used to make hits and you know it lasts forever. Hey, take me back. Backpack, snapbacks, Kendrick on the Mac. Dreaming about putting Guam music on the map. Scheming about rhymes, we be planning our attack. Hey, copy back my homies, please stay hungry. You know that I'm coming. Make a few hundreds, then add a few commas. Be honest, and you know you gotta stay humble. Miles from the place that I call, but she's calling my name. Yeah, she's calling my name. Miles from her beautiful blue seas, and I'm playing the game. Yeah, trying to get to this fame. Miles from the place that I call home, but she's calling my name. Yeah, she's calling my name. Miles from her beautiful blue sea. Yeah, she's calling my name. Trying to get to this fame. Miles from the place that I call home, but she's calling my name. Yeah, she's calling my name. Miles from her beautiful blue sea. Yeah, I'm playing the game. Yeah, I'm playing the game. Yeah, Miles from the place that I call home.
Good morning, Guam. Right on. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Liberation Day to everybody in the States.
Right on. In America, we know all the Chamorro clubs all over are doing their liberation gatherings. Shoot us some pics, a message on our DMs, or comment on our Facebook Live feed.
And you know what? Thank you to each and every one of you who already did, and the ones that made our Liberation Show. I'm telling you, the two biggest parts, if you didn't catch the Liberation Show last night, our Liberation Extravaganza, were the drone show, overwhelmingly, and then the celebration that Chamorros in Houston have.
Right.
That was insane.
We're going to be
Houston
doing
people know how to get down.
an encore presentation of the drone show and the fireworks this morning, right here on the link at 7 a.m. All right, so if you missed it, miss a link, miss a lot, we got you. We got you. Hi,
And we've
Bree.
also got all of those shout outs too, because we want to show you guys what we were talking about. I know like it happened from 7:30, which is a little early for those of you like on the East Coast or West Coast. So We're gonna take care of you guys. It was amazing last night.
It was good show last night. That was the first, the drone show.
And it was kind of scary in the beginning, like at the
Yeah.
beginning of the day, because Bree and I came in the morning, and you know how bad the weather was yesterday.
Yep.
They were actually thinking about giving it a thumbs down, about not going, because the weather was just, even Landon, you know, well, happy belated birthday to Landon Idla, by the way, who was sending me stuff, and he's like, man, this is not weather that we want. And it was like so bad up until about 11, and then things got better at night. And when those drones went up, people went crazy on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. I mean, the planning that went into that, and yeah, we were kind of nervous about it yesterday morning with
Yeah.
all the rain. Like,
And then plus
oh, gosh.
Molesto got canceled, so I know
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
were thinking, what's next?
Well,
Postponed.
technically
Postponed.
postponed, right?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it will happen.
Saturday, right?
Yes, Saturday at 8.
8. Okay.
But what, there were 100 quadcopters that went as high as like 300 and 400 feet. But I mean, the formations they were making, guys. I mean, I had friends like they were messaging me and they were like, dude, they were telling me, they're like, I'm normally really skeptical of like anything that comes out of Guam, you know, one of those. And they were like, this is amazing. And they were like, do you think they'll do like the Guam flag? And then 2 seconds later, it's like the Great Seal of Guam. And,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the part, and you could even hear it, because I mean, I thought that Ipoh Beach was going to be closed. That's what we were talking about. But you heard like a bunch of people like applauding and screaming.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was funny because
I figured they came in from the beach, or maybe they were eating
Yeah.
a proa or something.
I was
but-
in Tumon, and when the American flag went up, there was like cheering because I guess there's a lot of there's a training, so there's a lot of like not stationed on Guam military here, and so there's like but then when the Guam flag came up, it was like everybody from Guam was like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
It was funny. It was
But then the
good.
cool part, I think the part that elicited the biggest response from what I could hear, you know, watching the stream, we're going to show you guys again, by the way, is I couldn't figure what they were making. Like in the beginning, there was this big oblong like box or something like moving, and it had some like bumps, and I was like, wait, what is that? And then you could see the waves. I was like, oh wait, that's the Marines landing, because they were making like, you know, simple shapes, and you know,
Yeah.
even like, you know, the Guam flag, the Old Glory, and everything like that. And then when they made one that was animated, that was so cool.
Yeah, and then they had like that. Was that Ed Sheeran?
Did they have Ed Sheeran play?
There was like a redheaded doctor or something.
No.
I don't know. Just great job to Bella Wings Aviation, Charlie, and of course Jeff Sanchez.
Right.
from
Fireworks are
Gems
what a
Media.
show.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, we had our contingencies in place
Yeah.
for the show that we produced.
We were gonna play stock footage, admittedly.
Well, for the fireworks, but with the drone show, you know, Charlie gave us the animations of what the drone show is going to look like.
Yeah.
And we knew, oh gosh, this is going to be so badass, right?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't know how big it was going to be because it was like huge.
Yeah,
You didn't
we
know what to
knew.
expect. I never had seen a drone show.
Yeah, and so we'd seen he gave us the animation, so we were ready to go just in the event that, you know, it was going to be canceled because of the rain.
And it was a game time
so-
decision, right? They said we'll figure it out when we figure it out.
Yeah, so it got closer and closer to the time, and then it just became, we're just going to go for it. And so we were like, oh, this is going to be so awesome, because we already knew it was going to be really good,
Yeah.
just based on what we had received, and we're going to air just in case. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
congratulations, that was really great.
So I
Yeah.
was doing the tech thing.
GBB,
Yeah.
awesome job.
Great
I was
job.
doing the tech thing. I was making sure the stream was like stable, so I was watching this, and then in the middle of it, Bree calls me for some more tech support, and she's like, "How do I set up my PS5?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, okay." Did you get that resolved, by the way?
Yeah. Did you resolve that, Bree?
Yes, I called Ken to Nicholas.
Oh, there you go. Right, you called a real
Yeah.
gamer.
I was like, I'm not really like the gaming type, but
Did you guys feel like any kind of emotion last night when you were watching the fireworks? Because it was, for me, it was just like
did.
kind of a mix up of liberation, like past, and you know, obviously we haven't
The
had the
whole
parade.
show was, to me, it was emotional.
Did you cry? I feel like you might have cried.
No, because I helped put it together. So
No, no, no.
It was
Yeah, no, I mean, because the vibe I was getting when I was watching the fireworks and I was looking out at this super crowded Tumon shore and just, I was in a restaurant, it was like, I just kind of felt like, and I mean, you know, I'm not saying, oh, it's over, but I felt like, wow, we've obviously have come a long way since last year. And so I felt like it was a different kind of liberation, and that I'm not saying we're liberated from this pandemic, but again, we're pretty much right there at normal.
And that was kind of the theme too.
Yeah,
I think
of
with the governor's speech on the Adelup lawn, And also with the survivor, Cynthia Terlahi, in her speech, in her address to the people, about how what she went through with the war, and here we are with another invisible war. And how she had, she was on lockdown like everybody else, and she did her part by joining this fight because she can. She's alive, and she went and got vaccinated.
Yep. Speaking of
And
which,
she asked everybody else to join the fight.
also congratulations to our Week 6 Vax and Win winners, including the young man who won. That's a gorgeous car, that Subaru.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful ride right there.
That's like a
he won the
rally car.
And the governor even mentioned she knows his parents, and his parents are both retired from public health. So he said, it's ingrained in me already. And she goes, why did you take the shot? He goes, because I know what we have to do.
Right. He said he wanted to do it, for the community and
Yeah.
to protect his friends, to protect
For the
his family.
people.
It's in his DNA to like to help people. And okay.
So that was Elijah Soto, by the way, who
Yes.
won the car.
The Soto fan.
And then they, it's kind of, I
I
don't know,
wonder if
a
that's
little,
Mr.
a little,
Soto's relative. Mr. Soto used to be the woodshop teacher up at F.E. Leon Guerrero.
No,
but
his parents are public health workers,
Oh,
are retired.
yeah, there was a big push yesterday to kind of reach that 80%, right? Because what are we at, like 78 point?
We're close.
We're like that close. So they had an outreach at the mall yesterday.
Yeah.
Right, and so they're giving away, what was it?
They're giving away free $20 gas cards.
Right, they're going to pay for your trip up there to the mall. I don't know how many people showed up, but,
They're also giving away those gas cards again today until
Right.
supplies last.
There you go. It's not $10,000 for a brand new car, but at least put a little quarter
Hey,
tank
people
in
are
it.
hurting. They
They
haven't
are.
gotten their rise.
They have not gotten their rise.
Any little bit will help.
I wanted to make it through the 7 o'clock hour without mentioning the rise, but here we are.
Well, that lasted all of 29 minutes.
I really was thinking, like, you know what? Tomorrow I'm not gonna mention the Rise Act. But yeah,
There's always tomorrow.
there was a story we did with Senator Moylan and the whole governor's reaction that's posted on our K-Wave News Facebook page. And I was just strolling the Facebook page yesterday, and there was I'm talking about the one that had like 70 comments or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like every comment. Man, I wish our governor would read that, and maybe it would get through to her. But every single comment, it was so sad. Every comment was like, why aren't they paying this? We need this. Oh, it's not an emergency to you, Governor, but it's an emergency to us. The interest in the Bank of Guam thing, everyone's saying, oh, she hasn't spent any money because the Bank of Guam's making interest. You hear that so many times from people. But yeah, every comment was pretty much like, yo, what's else? Pay the thing. Which is exactly what happens when we go out there.
And do you remember all those years
Well,
that
if we're going to wait for the ARPA money, it's going to be
I just
released. It
don't-
might be a while.
I don't get it though, because Saipan's spending the ARPA money. States are spending the ARPA money. If you Google are states spending the ARPA money, guess what? They are spending the ARPA money, and they have been spending it. We've had the ARPA fund since May, and not a single dollar. Isn't that crazy? That's insane to me. Not a single dollar has been paid out at all, and we just don't hear anything. I mean, what do they say? Oh, they're still waiting on the final comments, or
What we reported last night was Red Breed, the governor was saying she's optimistic that a compromise will be reached between her Brent, like about the ARP funds. We had that last night in the news. Like she's optimistic about a compromise.
No, dude, she was talking about Bill 112.
yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Well, that too.
Well, hey, there's some news.
Yeah.
Man. So I'm pretty sure we'll be talking about this this morning. But again, I don't know how does Adelup not get it, you know? I mean, but when you get a $10,000 raise during a pandemic, maybe you don't care so much for the little guy. It's 6:31. Good morning. Here's who's coming up on the show. Oh, look at that. There was a call for an emergency session from Senator Moylan, right?
Yes.
Relative to the RISE Act, and I believe there was a response from the speaker, but we're getting her on at 7:30. Speaker Therese Terlahi. 8:30, John Fernandez, GDOE Superintendent. 9 a.m. behind bars with Major Anton Uggan. And then remember, we're doing an encore. So if you're doing your liberation thing over there in the States, Get ready because it's 7 a.m., Jay.
Yeah, and if you guys are partying in the States and celebrating 77 years of liberation and everything, and you can't wait for us to show it, and you're wondering like what we're talking about, it's on our YouTube channel right now. We've got the liberation messages as a standalone clip. We got the fireworks as a standalone clip. We have the drone show as a standalone clip, or we have the entire shebang-a-bang. We have the whole show if you would like to play it. So if you're meeting in like one of the Guam clubs or at somebody's house or being safe and you're having your own celebration, bring it up on your big
Chromecast. What do you call it? Is that
Chromecast.
Chromecast.
You run it on your Apple TV, Chromecast it, thank you. Then bring it on gaming console. Have it playing in the background. I mean, that...
Or just watch it on your phone.
Yeah, and like you were saying, like, did I cry last night? I did not, but the emotion I got was... I was filled with, like, a lot of island pride because you see the iconography and the symbols they used was, was the Marines landing again and a lot of
And then
US
they also
flags.
had...
then they had things about thank you doctors,
right,
thank you healthcare
nurses.
workers.
They had DPHSS up there. There was something GovLu, the Guam SEAL, obviously.
Yeah.
But I wonder if this is just going to be the new normal. Now we want a drone show for every event. New Year's, got to have a drone show. Mass Chamorro drone show.
That'd be cool.
Right?
Reenact Magellan's
How do you
Landing.
go back after that? I mean, I don't want to. I'm not dissing on the fireworks, which Jeff, wow, crazy. That was awesome.
That was a really great firework. The colors were vivid.
Yes, very. And it was, again, because of the rain or whatever, it was just so clear last night.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome, good stuff. 6:33. The show's brought to you by Pacific Points, Cabo Enterprises, ITNE, and Jack in the Box on this Thursday, July 22nd. Still Liberation Day in the States. And let's go ahead and get into the news now. Brought to you by Pacific Points. We'll check on you guys on our Facebook Live feed after we take care of official business, which again is brought to you by Pacific Points. Here on the link with the very latest. Good morning, Sabrina Salas Matanani.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more. This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
As the island commemorates its 77th year of liberation from Japanese occupation, the governor, during her speech at Adelup yesterday, also acknowledged the war we are currently battling against COVID-19 and what still needs to be done to hold the line.
From victory some 77 years ago to the push for vaccinations.
We're just watching the numbers. We still have 1,300 people to go to get to the 80%.
The governor, speaking at a memorial ceremony, weaved our wartime story of the past to our present-day conflict.
And while every liberation has its liberators, look around you. Each of you have been soldiers in our fight. You did what needed to be done. You wore your mask, watched your distance, and washed your hands. And when the vaccine became available, you got your shots. You have been our army in this battle. For that, I thank you for helping us to achieve one of the highest vaccination rates in the nation and in the world. In the coming days, we will have achieved Operation Liberate Guam. When this day comes, life will resume to some sense of normalcy. We will enjoy friends and family without caps and social gatherings, and businesses can resume operations at 100% occupancy with no limits. While I plan to lift these restrictions, our mask mandate will remain in place. Historically, July 21 marked the turning point for Guam, and the same sentiment rings true today.
As of Wednesday morning, the island was 1,400 shots shy of achieving adult herd immunity. The governor will not restore the island to PCOR 4 until herd immunity is achieved. It's a goal she is confident we will achieve and beat COVID because, as history has shown, against all peril, we rise.
We were occupied for about 3 years, and our people lived a lot of sad events and tragic events. But our people are strong, and we survived. And we will also survive all dangers that have come to our shores. And so I say, contra I peligro da fanazzi.
More than a decade ago, a bill was signed into law designed to provide the process and information about whether a doctor on Guam has ever been disciplined. Years later, a lawsuit has been filed for the lack of its implementation.
Attorney Vanessa Williams represents David Lubofsky. His 5-year-old son, Asher, died at the Guam Memorial Hospital in October 2018. In September of last year, he filed 2 separate complaints, one with the Guam Board of Allied Health Professionals and the other with the Guam Board of Medical Examiners. He alleged that 2 doctors and several other licensed health professionals acted in an unprofessional, improper, incompetent, and unlawful manner in the monitoring and treatment of his son.
And there doesn't seem to be a clear path for investigation or process, where you can see, okay, these are the rules and this is what's going to happen.
This lack of clarity in action was the impetus behind a lawsuit filed in June. According to the writ of mandate filed in the Superior Court, it's alleged that the Guam Board of Medical Examiners and the Guam Board of Allied Health Professionals have not adopted rules and regulations related to the investigation of complaints. They've also not followed local law mandating that doctors who've ever been disciplined be posted on a website.
In this case, what we're asking them to do is to comply with the requirement by law that has to post this information about doctors, healthcare professionals online for the public to see, and then to have certain rules and regulations related to the investigation of complaints for their made by people to the boards. It doesn't tell them like how to do it, how to post these things, or how to investigate complaints. There's no authority for that. It just says, please do it. Or, judge, please order them to do it.
The Patient Protection Through Information Act has been on the books since 2011. It was amended to expand further access to the public of a physician's profile in January 2018.
By this process, he wanted to ensure that, regardless of what happens to his complaint, that anyone who goes through this process is going to know that they were heard, that it was investigated properly, and that they will, be responded to in a timely manner. Because he's had, so it's just been haphazard with the complaints that he's filed over the years, and with other people too who aren't part of this lawsuit, but that have come to light where they just feel frustrated, feel unheard, and they don't feel protected by these boards, that no one's, speaking on their behalf. So that's really where this lawsuit came from.
Attorney Williams filed the lawsuit on June 15th. On July 7th, it appears the GBME finally went online, announcing the official launch of its website. KUAM, however, could not find information on whether any physicians have ever been disciplined, but residents are now able to fill out a complaint form online against a licensed health professional. In the meantime, a hearing on this lawsuit has been scheduled for August 10th.
While a third public hearing has not yet been announced for controversial Bill 112, Governor Lulian Guerrero is optimistic a compromise on the measure will be reached.
I'm not asking her to drop Bill 112. I have made the position that maybe it needs to be discussed more, and that she could take it back to committee and work with the key stakeholders, the doctors, the consumers, the lawyers. I know she's been holding public hearings, which is, of course, a necessary part of public policy. But in those public hearings, really, you don't get the opportunity to discuss frankly and to discuss in greater details what some of these solutions might be. I think at the end, I feel very optimistic that there will be a solution.
The main sponsor of the bill is Speaker Therese Terlahi, who also chairs the Committee on Health. The intent of the measure is to provide a way for those who can't afford medical arbitration to be able to file a legitimate medical malpractice claim. Currently, the law mandates that all claims must go through costly arbitration. The bill seeks to remedy this by removing mandatory arbitration and adding the option of going before a magistrate's judge. Several members of the island's healthcare community vehemently oppose. her bill. The Republican Party of Guam is gearing up for Decision 2022. Starting today and tomorrow, they are hosting workshops with party members and potential candidates at the Dusitani Guam Resort. The training will actually be conducted by several members of the Republican National Committee. RNC Deputy Chief of Staff Rick Gorka is one of them.
We're bringing experts in training on a host of topics from political communications, fundraising, digital data, to arm the candidates in Guam with the latest in technology and techniques to run the best campaigns possible. So we're spending and looking forward to spending a few days working our way around the island, meeting as many folks as possible, answering a lot of questions, and making sure that the candidates that Juan Carlos is recruiting are ready to run very effective and competitive campaigns, being smart with the resources that we all have to work with when we're running for office.
Participants are asked to please register so the GOP can make appropriate accommodations. The two-day training sessions are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The training program will be free of charge for registered members of the Republican Party. For more information, email Republican Party of Guam Chairperson Juan Carlos Benitez at jbenitez@wpedg.com. The demand for school supplies on the rise. Catholic Social Services is accepting donations for their back-to-school drive until Friday. For the past few years, CSS has conducted the school supply drives to benefit the children in need on the island as they return back to school. The nonprofit organization was unable to hold one last year, of course, due to COVID. But this year, they're back, and Lisa Berdalio, who is the Client Service Program Manager of Catholic Social Services, says they are doubling the amount of requests of donations as the need has increased.
And we are now taking donated school supplies to put together backpacks, starter kits for the kids. So it'll have, it will include the backpack, and in the backpack some general supplies like school glue, scissors, pencils, crayons or pens, and filler paper, composition notebooks, just the general stuff that's needed. So many of our families request for this, and there is a lot of need out there, and it really does help them out. So we try to do this every year, and we're looking forward to helping more people this year.
The goal is to fill 500 school bags of supplies. Over 300 children benefited from the drive in 2019. Donations can be dropped off at the CSS main office in Barrigada Heights. For more information, call 635-1424, or you can email md@cssguam.org. And for more news, go to KUAM.com and stay here for more on The Link.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
Mr. Lahi has issued a response to Senator James Moylan stating she has consulted with legal counsel and determined she could not certify an emergency involving danger to public health or safety. However, she has asked Finance Committee Chairperson Joe San Augustine to fast-track a public hearing on Senator Moylan's bill. Again, Governor Lulian Guerrero isn't ready to make the all-rise local pandemic assistance payments yet. Then Republican senators may try to take matters into their own hands. Nestor Locanto has more.
The governor has already said no to Senator Jim Moylan's request to call an emergency session so senators can amend the RISE Act law. She said it's not an emergency. The governor has already said no to Senator Jim Moylan's request to call an emergency session so senators can amend the RISE Act law. She said it's not an emergency and can wait until online applications are ready and when final spending guidance is released by the Treasury Department. But Moylan says it is an emergency.
I can't see when it's an emergency, if declaring that it is not an emergency when you're telling people or our residents of Guam that it's first come, first serve. I don't see that we can't consider this an emergency when you're saying there's a cap on the amount of money. And again, I don't see when you can't see this as an emergency, Governor, when we had the PUA ending in 50 or less days.
And the list goes on. Moylan also has a list of proposed amendments that include increasing the payouts to $1,000 for singles and $2,000 for couples, and eliminating the funding cap altogether so that everyone who qualifies gets paid.
It's amazing. It's called the American Rescue Plan, where the federal government is providing these funds, over $600 million, to the people of Guam, and it's supposed to be a rescue plan. Not a stressful plan. It's supposed to be rescue. and the folks that are qualified for this due to the pandemic, then this is where the money should go.
But he can't fast track a bill without a special session. If the governor won't do it, he's asking the speaker to. If she doesn't do it, they have a backup plan.
In August, we'll be going into the budget hearing. We will make the move as an amendment to the budget to include these changes that we've introduce it right into the budget. And I believe that I had the support of my colleagues.
Leon Guerrero is off to the nation's capital today, as we reported. She's scheduled to meet with cabinet officials within the Biden administration, such as the heads of the Department of the Interior and Commerce. Traveling with her will be her Chief of Staff, John Jr. Calvo, Communications Director Crystal Paco San Augustine, and First Gentleman Jeff Cook. Community Defense Liaison Executive Director Vera Topasnia traveled to D.C. in advance. Now, while in the nation's capital, the governor will also participate in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Guam Pillar of the World War II Memorial. A federal lawsuit was filed against the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for failing to designate 23 endangered species in Guam and the CNMI. Tyler Matanani reports.
The Center for Biological Diversity is suing the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for failing to designate critical habitats for 14 species of plants and 9 species of animals in Guam, Saipan, Tinian, Palau, and the FSM, which they say is a direct violation of the Endangered Species Act. Hawaii Director and Staff Attorney for Center for Biological says, quote, "We can't stop the extinction crisis if wildlife officials ignore the law and abandon the places where imperiled species live. Militarization, invasive species, climate change, and urban sprawl have taken an enormous toll. Since government officials won't take action, we're asking the court to force them to." The issue dates back to 2015 when the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service listed 23 plants and animal species in the U.S. Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam. The list includes tiny sac-wing bats, bright orange and yellow tree snails, beautiful 8-spotted butterflies, and brilliant blue damselflies. The Blue Ocean Law Group is also representing the Center for Biological Diversity. According to attorney Julian Uggan, we need to get serious about protecting our endangered and threatened species. He adds the first step is to designate critical habitat. The second is to stop giving the military a free pass. We're suing Fish and Wildlife to remind them they must do both. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
Accused murderer Joyner Sked was appointed new counsel after attorney Jay Areola requested to withdraw due to conflict of interest. At least 5 other attorneys assigned to her case have withdrawn thus far. The court allowed the motion and appointed attorney Doug Moylan as the new counsel. Sked and co-defendant Rudy Canatza are accused of the brutal beating death of former Umatic Mayor Daniel Sanchez. Sanchez was found bludgeoned and stabbed to death at Canatza's home. Both face charges of murder as a first-degree felony and aggravated assault as a second-degree felony. The AG's office has moved to sever the cases. The court will address the motion at the next hearing, which is scheduled for today. It's official. DRT Deputy Director Frank Leon Guerrero has been moved to the Marianas Regional Fusion Center as its new director. He replaces Jesse Manjola, who started Monday as the new Deputy Chief of Port Police. Replacing Leon Guerrero as deputy at Rev and Tax is Marie Lazama. She retired from Delta Airlines in 2018, where she served as Guam sales manager. She was previously head of the business services unit at the American Job Center. There are more indications that a long-feared summer surge has arrived. COVID-19 infections have risen sharply in the last month, even as demand for vaccines has declined. Natalie Brand reports.
Federal health officials are sounding the alarm about the latest coronavirus surge. This one powered by the more contagious Delta strain, which now accounts for more than 80% of new cases.
This is a dramatic increase up from 50% the week of July 3rd. In some parts of the country, the percentage is even higher.
The head of the CDC says unvaccinated individuals remain the most at risk.
2/3 of counties in the United States have vaccine coverage less than 40%.
Meanwhile, breakthrough infections have been reported among several Texas state lawmakers visiting D.C. in aid to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and a White House official, all fully vaccinated.
I know it seems like a constant uphill climb, but it's gradually making progress, but we got a way to go yet.
In the past week, nearly a fifth of the country's new COVID cases were reported in Florida. It's one of the states where vaccination rates have plunged even as the Delta variant took hold.
A very young patient, in her 20s. She has asthma, little history of asthma, did not get vaccinated, and she ended up passing away.
Miami's Jackson Health System says 95% of the patients they're treating are unvaccinated. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Here at home, Guam is still a little over 1,000 shots shy to make adult herd immunity. Public Health will continue its vaccination clinic at the Micronesia Mall today through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And as an incentive, residents who receive their second dose of the Pfizer or Moderna 2-dose series vaccines or the single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will receive a $20 gas coupon while supplies last. And with your news and tomorrow, here's Ken Conception, and we don't have that. So let's just go to a break then.
We're on a mission to fill the bus with necessary school supplies and food for our island's children in need. The KUAM Care Force and Salvation Army, along with our partners GTA, Twinkles, Anderson Air Force Base, and Kloppenburg Enterprises, are collecting necessary items including school supplies and food items to help send our community's youngest and most vulnerable members back to school. New backpacks, notebooks, pencils, pens, crayons, and other donations are welcome, as well as food pantry items. Please do your part and give every child a chance to learn, grow, be nourished, and have a wonderful return to school. You may drop off your supplies to our Harmon Studios weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. up until Friday, August 6th, or come down to our finale between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 7th, where we'll be attempting to fill the bus with all your donations. Rise up to the challenge, embrace radical generosity, and help us fill the bus for Salvation Army and kids in need. See the complete list of items being accepted on KUAM.com. Get up and move, Guam! Join the mayors of Talafofo and Inilahan for Haan and Minagov, a great day to celebrate the reopening of our island at the Valley of the Ladi, Saturday, July 31st from 10 to 5 p.m. Local artists, farmers, and Guam-made products will be on hand while you enjoy performances from our best cultural entertainers and musicians. Enjoy the finest food that Southern Guam has to offer. Help us open our newest attraction, the Micronesia Cultural Village. Tickets can be purchased online at valleyoftheLadi.com. Haan and Minagov is brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau, Guam Economic Development Authority, Valley of the Ladi, Jungle Riverboat Cruise, Kloppenburg Enterprises, Para Ipribetsu Itautauta, the Guam Brewery, Island Beverage Distributors, and the stations of KUAM.
KUAM Digital presents a series highlighting the wide array of talents on our island. Whether they're a standout gamer, extreme athlete, performer, or have a unique skill to show off, we're showcasing them every month on Wow Factor. Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do. Get yourself all caught up with the week's games, scores, and highlights with the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup on KUAM News Weekend Edition. It's all-inclusive, all the fun and all the action wrapped up in the perfect presentation. Relive the moments on the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup, brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G. Get through the work week with a special office party from Uno Go and participating restaurants. Every week, we're delivering lunch from a local dining partner to one lucky office for up to 15 people. For a chance to win, all you have to do is 1. Register as a user on the Uno Go app or website. Existing registered users may be entered as well. 2. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook. And 3. Send us a message with your name, contact email, and phone number, your office, and its location. We'll draw a winner every Friday on The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11 and streaming on Facebook Live, and coordinate the day of your choice for lunch to be delivered the following week. We'll also feature your office celebration on KUAM News every Friday. Put smiles on your co-workers' faces and enter today. Open to Guam residents only. Conditions apply. See the Uno Go Guam Facebook page for details. Thanks to our participating restaurants, Beach and Shrimp, Lone Star, Jamaican Grill, Ajisen, Sing's Cafe, Pika's, and the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort.
This week's Office Party giveaway is from Jamaican Grill. Enter today to win.
Good afternoon, my name is Specials Carry-On from Village of Tuman. At binabati ko po kayo ng Happy Liberation Day. Viva Liberation, Viva Guam. We're
Half a day, this is Tom Dodson. My rank is PB2. And what Liberation Day means to me is honoring the fallen soldiers before us and our Manoku. Viva Liberation and Viva Guam.
Half a day, this is PFC Munoz with the Guam National Guard, Task Force Medical. Just like to wish everybody a happy Liberation Day and thank you so much for your support. Viva Guam!
Happy Liberation Day! Viva Guam! Happy 77th Guam Liberation!
Half a day, my name is PSC Pablo from the village of Manigua. I'd like to, on behalf of me and my family, I'd like to wish Guam a happy Liberation Day. Viva Guam!
Half a day, my name is Specialist Rainey from the village of Dededo. On behalf of me and my family, I would like to wish Guam a happy Liberation Day. Viva Guam!
My name is Specialist Moftis. I would like to say happy Liberation and Viva Guam.
Good afternoon, I'm Specialist Kengo from the village of Momong. And I would like to wish the island of Guam a happy and safe liberation. Viva Guam!
We're the Flores family and we're coming to you from Tuna Fix Island Barbecue Cravings in Las Vegas, Nevada. We want to wish everyone a safe and happy 77th Liberation Day. Viva Guam!
Viva!
Half a day, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Compton Rebo, Director of Manpower, Human Resources, and Personnel for the Guam National Guard. My team and I would like to wish everyone
Happy Liberation Day and Viva Guam! Half a day.
We are the Duenas family from Fort Worth, Texas. We want to wish everybody back home a happy 77th Guam Liberation.
Viva!
Okay, good.
Half a day. I'm Rear Admiral Ben Nicholson, Commander Joint Region Marianas. As we mark the 77th anniversary of Guam's liberation, I ask we take a moment to remember. Remember the 18,000 military members who stormed the beaches of Agate and Asin, fighting for a foothold in the Pacific, fighting for the protections of our Guamanian brothers and sisters, fighting to secure and restore freedom around the world. Remember the Chamorro people who suffered and those who died during the World War II occupation. The liberation of Guam was an extraordinary turning point in our history. This liberation sealed the bond between the people of the island and our U.S. Armed Forces. Today, we're committed to this bond. We are dedicated more than ever to continue to protect and defend Americans and our freedoms from these shores and in this region to maintain a free and open Pacific region. Every Liberation Day, we celebrate the culture and the spirit of the Chamorro people who persevered through adversity and commemorate the efforts of our American liberators. As your regional commander, I thank you for all you do in defense of our great nation. I thank you for all you do in support of those who put themselves in harm's way every day. On behalf of Joint Region Marianas, we are honored and humbled to be able to once again celebrate with you. God bless Guam, our great people, and our great nation. Viva Liberation, Viva Guam.
After everyone, this is Fire First Class Medell with Guam National Guard, HHC 1st 294. And I just wanted to say Happy Liberation Day, Guam, and thank you for your support.
Buenas and half a day, Guam.
We are the Duenas family from Malolo.
And we are wishing everyone a happy 77th Liberation.
All the way from here in Las Vegas.
We hope everybody stays safe and God bless. Si Diyos ang benendisi sa natayamzu. Viva Liberation!
Viva!
Viva Chamorro!
Viva!
Viva Guam!
Viva!
Si Diyos mahal si todos amzu. Adios!
Ready? Yeah. Half a day for the 105th Troop Command of the Guam Army National Guard.
Happy Liberation Day.
Thank you, Guam, for your support.
Half a day, my name is Jolene, and these are my daughters, Jola Alani and Jamila Melomani. We'd like to wish all our family and friends a happy 77th Guam Liberation. We love and we miss all of you out there. Happy Liberation, Guam.
Happy Liberation, Guam.
Half a day, Guam. I'm Sergeant Tumeldon with the Guam Army National Guard, HHC, 1st 294. I just wanted to say Happy Liberation Day, Guam, and thank you for your support.
Hi everyone, my name is Brian James Chrysostimo, and on behalf of my family in Las Vegas, we would like to wish you all a very happy Liberation Day.
Half a day from the Guam National Guard 94 Civil Support Team.
As we remember our Manumpos and those who liberated Guam and gave us our freedom and what we have today.
Happy Liberation Day, Guam!
Greetings and Hafaday Guam. I'm Sean Matthew Flores, and from our family in Las Vegas, Nevada to yours, we wish you a happy and blessed Liberation Day. May this Liberation Day be one of hope, peace, and love, where we remember to cherish each other as God's children. Happy Liberation Day, Guam, and Viva!
Hafaday. I am Lieutenant Colonel Tate Bunce, the Acting Commanding Officer for Marine Corps Base Camp Laws. This year we celebrate the 77th anniversary of the liberation of Guam a little bit differently. After enduring a global pandemic, we the Marines celebrate the liberation of Guam with you. Today we gather in solemn remembrance to pay respect and to show our gratitude to the brave men and women who fought to liberate this beautiful island, our home, 77 years ago. Together we pay tribute to those who made the ultimate sacrifice and celebrate those who rebuilt Guam after the war's destruction threatened to strip the island of its rich cultural traditions. On this 77th anniversary of the liberation, we are inspired by the perseverance of Guam in the face of adversity and the fortitude they exhibited to guarantee the survival of their culture and way of life. During this time of celebration, we also pay homage to the thousands of men and women from all of the U.S. Armed Services who fought for a cause greater than themselves with a devotion to duty and country to free the people of Guam. Let the hardships and suffering endured by both the people of Guam and their liberators serve not just as a reminder of the horrors of war, but as a living memorial to the importance of peace. It is fitting that we remember the courage, commitment, and untold sacrifices made so that we, their descendants, can live in a better world. It is our obligation to honor their legacy and affirm their resolve to uphold the values for which they were prepared to die. Emboldened by their brave example, let us continue to work together to enrich the future of Guam. Si Zeus, Ma'asi, and Semper Fidelis.
Hogan here from Charlie Company, First 294th, coming to you from Fort Polk, Louisiana. I'd like to send a happy Liberation Day shout out to the people of Guam and especially our families back home. I love you and we'll be home soon. Viva Liberation!
Happy Day! Viva 77th Guam Liberation from your Red Rice family in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Choo!
I'll be right back.
Hey, PFC Casting out here in Fort Polk, Louisiana, Charlie Company, Second Squad. We just want to say, Happy Liberation Day, Guam! Kulebra!
77th Guam Liberation, half a day from L&L, San Antonio Barbecue. Half a day!
Half a day!
Hey, I'm PFC Babata from Charlie Company, coming to you from Fort Polk, Louisiana. I'd like to send a happy Liberation Day shout out to the people of Guam. We love you and we'll be home soon. Viva!
On behalf of the Buendicho family of San Antonio, Texas, we'd like to wish you
a happy 77th Guam Liberation.
Half a day. I'm Senior Airman Ezekiel Cruz from the Guam Air National Guard's 254th Security Forces Squadron. I just wanted to say Happy Liberation Guam and thank you for all your support.
We'd like to thank our liberators and our greatest generation, our Manamco, for enduring the sacrifices and the tragedies of war so that we can live freely on this beautiful island we call home.
Happy Day. As we near the 77th anniversary of the liberation of Guam, I just want to thank all the armed forces that participated in liberating our island, and especially the generations of the Manamcos
who endured all the tragedies of war.
So this is a perfect time to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who had a part in liberating Guam, and we owe you a debt of gratitude. So we want to wish you a happy Liberation Day and
Viva Liberation! Viva Guam! Half a day. I am Senior Airman Rory Ignacio from the Guam Air National Guard's 254th Security Forces Squadron. I just wanted to say Happy Liberation Guam to my family and friends. Thank you for your support. Viva Guam!
Half a day, Guam. It's Congressman St. Nicholas. Just wanted to wish everyone on Guam a very happy Liberation Day. God bless.
We got your 6
at 6 a.m. with The Link on Breeze 93.9 FM. Bree and I connect you with all the latest news and information you need to know to start your day.
Then check back with Guam's news leader at 6 p.m. for the day's top headlines with KUAM News Primetime.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and everything else in between with KUAM Digital, we got your 6.
We're on a mission to fill the bus with necessary school supplies and food for our island's children in need. The KUAM Care Force and Salvation Army, along with our partners GTA, Twinkles, Anderson Air Force Base, and Kloppenburg Enterprises, are collecting necessary items including school supplies and food items to help send our community's youngest and most vulnerable members back to school. New backpacks, notebooks, pencils, pens, crayons, and other donations are welcome, as well as food pantry items. Please do your part and give every child a chance to learn, grow, be nourished, and have a wonderful return to school. You may drop off your supplies to our Harmon Studios weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. up until Friday, August 6th, or come down to our finale between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 7th, where we'll be attempting to fill the bus with all your donations. Rise up to the challenge, embrace radical generosity, and help us fill the bus for Salvation Army and kids in need. See the complete list of items being accepted on KUAM.com. KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time off each Friday to talk, taste, and tempt you with all the latest and greatest food and drinks on Guam. Old faves, new hits, and everything else we can put in our bellies. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link, brought to you by King's Restaurants, Ruby Tuesday Guam, and Devondale.
Get through the work week with a special office party from Uno Go and participating restaurants. Every week, we're delivering lunch from a local dining partner to one lucky office for up to 15 people. For a chance to win, all you have to do is 1. Register as a user on the Uno Go app or website. Existing registered users may be entered as well. 2. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook. And 3. Send us a message with your name, contact email, and phone number, your office, and its location. We'll draw a winner every Friday on The Link on Breeze 92.9 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11 and streaming on Facebook Live, and coordinate the day of your choice for lunch to be delivered the following week. We'll also feature your office celebration on KUAM News every Friday. Put smiles on your co-workers' faces and enter today. Open to Guam residents only. Conditions apply. See the Uno Go Guam Facebook page for details. Thanks to our participating restaurants, Beach and Shrimp, Lone Star, Jamaican Grill, Ajisen, Sing's Cafe, Pika's, and the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort.
This week's Office Party giveaway is from Jamaican Grill. Enter today to win.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at his secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable, as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home, KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city, featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC.
After a year with so many games and events delayed or unplayed, the world is ready for anything and everything in the world of sports. KUAM Communications is ready with more games, more championships, and more specials that are guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the action and excitement.
Brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, Marianas Irrigation and Landscape, and Docomo Pacific.
Just more great reasons to tune in and turn on, so you'll fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
Through the link each morning on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Hey, we're back, and as promised, an encore presentation of the historic first ever drone show. Bree, what a show!
Yeah, great job to Bella Wings Aviation, Charlie over there and his team. And of course the fireworks show, also a beautiful thing to see. And again, for people in Molessu, don't worry, it was rescheduled for Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Right,
it was an issue with the boat or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they said, boat issues.
Yeah.
Hey, so did you find out anything about how they do the drone show thing?
I know it deals with the computer and they program it, and then they go off into the air.
Oh, okay, there you go. That's layman's terms.
Something like that.
Because we kept debating last night. Is it like 100 different people with their own little remote control? It's not.
No.
So it's a single
computer
that's linked into all the drones, and then they pop up like fly this way or whatever, and then they do it. Okay, gotcha. Okay, there you go. So again, we'll back.
So I was right.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, I guess technically you were right. All right, we're going to play this drone show, and then we'll do the fireworks, and then on to Speaker Therese Terlahi right here on the link. Good morning.
Enjoy the girls along on the beach and under the coconut tree. Warm is good, warm is hot, warm is just such a little spot. It's a beautiful water that you never see. There are many clouds there On the street, pura reggae, cha-cha. Do the cha-cha, cha-reggae, cha-cha, reggae, cha-cha to the reggae beat. If you like a little reggae and you love to cha-cha, just put the cha-cha reggae in your feet. One cha-cha, two cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's a little like a salsa and a twist of the cha-cha. To do the cha-cha reggae rhythm beat. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae rhythm beat. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae rhythm beat. To the island one, I'm gonna feel it. I feel it, beat it, beat the cha-cha on the beat, beat the rhythm of the island. Oh, hey now, tell me, I just love to dance. More Filipino, I'm Indonesian, Japanese, Chinese, Samoan, and American, European, Australian, all over the world. They love to dance this island rhythm. It's the cha-cha reggae rhythm in my feet. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 3, 4, cha-cha-cha, 5, 6, cha-cha-cha, 7, 8, cha-cha-cha, reggae to the rhythm beat. 1 cha-cha, 2 cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. 1 cha-cha, 2 cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. 1 cha-cha, 2 cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. Cha-cha reggae rhythm beat. 1 cha-cha, 2 cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. 1 cha-cha, 2 cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. 1 cha-cha, 2 cha-cha, reggae cha-cha. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Hey, we do the cha-cha, cha-cha reggae cha-cha. Cha-cha reggae cha-cha to the reggae beat. If you like a little reggae, you love to cha-cha. Put the cha-cha reggae in your feet. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae, cha-cha reggae rhythm. Cha-cha reggae rhythm beat. Cha-cha reggae rhythm beat. One more time, cha-cha reggae rhythm beat.
Have you ever had that feeling? Made you go so bad. Have you ever had that feeling? Memory of our land. Here we go now, here we go. Here among the music. Here we go now, feel the flow. In the mastakilo, in a soku, in the mastakalo, corazón. Then it must be good, and in that sinyaku, who pressing my saddle, and I'm pretending, then defending. Nengi, cultura, lenguaje. Airi, hano. Zanitano tamuru, yes, yes, yes. Zanitano tamuru, yes, yes, yes. Shaku, la la la. Did I to get into the stop that? 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 It's the who that bit Ihilo Tani Biblia Ibanderon Ibanderan Mohan, yes, yes, yes. Ibanderan Mohan, yes, yes, yes. Ibanderan Mohan. pikun nani nasinya upresi mai satu para bakuteri dari fendi inengi kultura lengua hano tani tanu tamolu yes tani tanu tamolu yes Nina shaku la 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 Nina to get into the stop now 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 It's the who what it matters Ihilo Tani Biblias Ibandera Ibandera Mohan yes 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 Ibandera Mohan
Somehow stuck into my heart. And you bring sunshine to my eyes. You make my life
Awesome. History of the making, Sabrina.
Yeah, and we're so glad that we partnered with the Guam Visitors Bureau to be able to bring that to you at home if you weren't able to make it down to Tumon, and also to our viewers online that got the chance to see that and get a taste of home wherever you are in the States. I mean, today obviously is Liberation Day in the mainland,
Right.
so happy Liberation Day.
Yeah, that was cool. So what can't you do with a drone? And I'm just thinking this is just the way forward. What I want to see, though, for New Year's, Bree, I want to see a drone show with fireworks at the same time.
I don't know.
Right?
That might be hard.
Like Spider-Man. You guys see
Unless
Spider-Man
they're
Far From
the-
Home with the drones and the...
But I'm sure, can't drones, though, mimic fireworks?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Just got to get a whole lot more drones.
Yep. So there you go. It's 7:28. We are going to play an encore presentation of the Liberation fireworks display coming up on the link, which is brought to you by Pacific Points, IT&E, Calvo Enterprises, and Jack in the Box. We're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back with the Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Speaker Teresa Lahi, next on the link. Good morning.
The Culture Club returns to KOAM Digital and KOAM News Weekend Edition, highlighting Guam's young artists, activists, and crafters as they work to protect, preserve, and promote our Chamorro culture. Watch this weekly feature on the digital platforms of KOAM News Weekend Edition, brought to you by Hanum.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KOAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KOAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
The world of television is more exciting than ever. Don't miss a minute of special presentations from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the fun and excitement of award shows and red carpet moments, special series presentations, and other great network programs. Brought to you locally by King's Restaurant, Ruby Tuesday Guam, Bud Light Seltzer, and Docomo Pacific, giving you more reasons to tune in and turn on. Fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
A new musical competition series from NBC focusing on original music is in the works, and they're looking for contestants. American Song Contest is modeled after the hit European phenomenon Eurovision, which has produced some of the most talented performers the world has ever known. The show's looking for individuals and bands from all types of music to find an act in every state and territory, including representatives from Guam and the CNMI. Go online to AmericanSongSubmissions.com to enter and submit your original song submissions now. Must be 16 years or older, and groups cannot exceed 6 people. Additional conditions apply. So apply today and get ready to rep our island on the national stage. American Song Contest debuts next spring on NBC. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home, KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city, featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC.
KUAM Communications continues our perpetuation of our Chamorro culture, language, and heritage with features available to our listening and viewing audience, including streaming of Chamorro music 24 hours per day on Isla Digital Radio on KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. Chamorro News Update, weekdays on The Link and the KUAM News YouTube channel. Conversations about life in our Chamorro language podcast, Cuentos Tapoco with Kin Conception. Seasonal specials, shows, and other features highlighting the beauty of our language, culture, and history. It's a new era of our continued commitment to our Chamorro heritage. Isla, watch, listen, stream. Viva Isla!
My whole family is fully vaccinated because we understand the importance of it. I've seen my daughter, her boyfriend, and friends endure COVID, and I've lost family members because of the virus. I chose to get vaccinated to protect those around me, and most importantly, because of my parents. I'm Jonah Gancharfres, KUAM Senior Producer, and I'm a proud member of the vaccination.
Join the vaccination. Scan and plan. For more information, go to KUAM.com.
Brought to you by American Medical Center, your partner in healthcare.
KUAM News, in partnership with the Guam Visitors Bureau, brings you the Guam Safe and WTTC Safe Travel Certified Program Showcase. Look out for this powerful symbol for visitors, island residents, and industry workers alike, as it represents establishments with a consistent global commitment to safety practices. Stamped with approval by the Guam Visitors Bureau and the World Travel Tourism Council. Every Monday on KUAM News will feature a different local business who's taken the Safe Guam and Safe Travels pledge to maintain health and safety standards to get Guam back on track. Log on to visitguam.com to see how your business can receive the designation, what businesses in our community are Guam Safe certified, and have the WTTC Safe Travel certified.
Get up and move, Guam! Join the mayors of Talafofo and Inilahan for Haan and Minagov, a great day to celebrate the reopening of our island at the Valley of the Latte, Saturday, July 31st from 10 to 5 p.m. Local artists, farmers, and Guam-made products will be on hand while you enjoy performances from our best cultural entertainers and musicians. Enjoy the finest food that Southern Guam has to offer. Help us open our newest attraction, the Micronesia Cultural Village. Tickets can be purchased online at valleyofthelatte.com. Haan and Minagov is brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau, Guam Economic Development Authority, Valley of the Latte, Jungle Riverboat Cruise, Kloppenberg Enterprises, Para Ipribetsu Itautauta, the Guam Brewery, Island Beverage Distributors, and the stations of KUAM.
Welcome back to the link. It is 7:38, pushing the 8 o'clock hour, and we're gonna head into the Zoom room. All right, everybody, all rise. We have got. Is it the acting lieutenant governor now, Speaker Talahi?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't received a notice.
Oh well, we got notice that the governor is flying to D.C. with the first gentleman Jeff Cook, the chief of staff John Jr. Calvo, the communications director Crystal Paco San Augustine, and then meeting them there will be the
Vera Tapasnia.
Some there's a new title they gave her.
Yeah,
That's
she's
right.
already there, right?
She's already there. Yeah, so she's there, waiting for them. Yeah. So guess what? I guess it's official. You are the acting lieutenant governor.
If she's left the island, yes, then I am.
Wow.
So what's the protocol? They don't say, "Hey, you're up," or
You don't get like an
just
EFIT
don't-
nameplate or something.
They don't tell you officially.
Well, we'll see. I don't think I've received an email yet.
Now's your chance to pay the Rise Act. You can go in there up to Adloob. Like I'm here to sit in my office.
Oh, believe me, if I could, I would. I would absolutely do that. I don't see any reason to delay the payment of the rise right now. I think the money's been sitting there since, March, was it? And when I listened in on the, kind of a webinar that they had for congressmen and others across the states, it was very clear that other jurisdictions are spending their ARP funds. They are going to have to report. The first report is due August 31. That means report on expenditures. So, yeah, I think it's, I don't see any reason why we're continuing to hold on to that money. The money should be given out to the people. I agree that they are in great need and that this could very much help them. And so it should go out as soon as possible.
What about this conversation that we with Senator Moylan, where he was calling for an emergency session, and then I believe the governor in the press conference had said that the situation with the rise or the all rise is not an emergency.
Well, Senator Moylan also asked me as a speaker to call an emergency session on his Bill 75. And I responded to him that the bill as written or as introduced does not squarely address the emergency that he describes. I agree that he describes the emergency as the people standing in line to get the mayor's verification and all of that, hassle that they're having to go through. And I completely agree with him. However, the bill did not directly address that. So I told him, first of all, that the committee chair on appropriations has set a hearing for his bill. It's going to be July 28th, I believe. And so we will have a public hearing on that. I also asked the governor again on Tuesday to do what she can by executive order, as she did to increase the eligibility for the rise, to do the same thing by executive order and to remove the requirements for mayor's verification, whatever else people are having to line up for. And I've spoken to the director of revenue and taxation, and she seems like she is doing everything in her power to remove those requirements as well. And so she has to work with the office of the governor. I was hoping that would be done Tuesday or Wednesday, yesterday, and or this early this morning. So, but I haven't seen anything yet. And so in the interim, we are introducing another bill, Senator Moylan, myself, and Senator San Augustine, to remove those impediments directly, to remove all the rules and leave it up to rules for documentation and leave it up to the Department of Revenue and Taxation to decide what is necessary. Because in my discussions with the director, she seemed very reasonable, and she wants she wants that consent form to access your 1040s. She wants your social security number, and she wants, if you did not file and because of disability, that form that you submit to her. And it seems to me like she's able to get the job done with just those forms. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish in the next few days.
There was something that Chris, before we went on the air today, and we were talking about this whole issue with the Rise Act, and I thought that was actually a very good point that you'd made, that the fact that the fact that we are currently and still in this declaration of a public health emergency, I mean, wouldn't that, you could use that as an argument as well? It is an emergency because we are in and have been in a state of emergency for
It's been over a year. Yeah.
Yes, no, I agree. So getting this money out is definitely urgent, I think. And so we are going to do everything we can. I'm just saying that we have to use the right mechanism. So when we declare one bill to be an emergency, or, you know, we wait, what we're doing actually here, the governor's different, but here, if we're going to, it's to waive a public hearing. And so to waive a public hearing, you have to declare that there is a danger to health and safety of the people. And so, and that the bill that we're going to address is actually going to resolve that. And so it's just a matter of the bill. It's not directly addressing what the emergency is. The bill that Senator Moylan was talking about changes the amounts, and it doesn't necessarily change the procedures. And I think that's really what we have to do. We have to stop the long lines. We have to stop people with disabilities and the elderly from having to line up during this pandemic. Yeah. And so while that continues to exist, we want to avoid all of that as much as possible. And especially if, you know, Department of Revenue and Taxation concurs that it's not necessary for them to get these RISE payments out. But more importantly, you know, whatever we do here, we're just adjusting the process, but really payment of the RISE is up to the governor. And I'm continuing to call on the governor to pay the RISE, to pay that money, to give it out. We are sitting on the money. We're not using it while people are in need. And so I think that's the bigger point, and that is really the issue that has to be acted on. And so I think I feel confident to say that my colleagues would agree with that, because we were unanimous in our support of the RISE. We've passed it since December last year. And I think everybody would agree that that needs to go out, and that is within the power of the governor. And so we are definitely in unison calling on her to pay the RISE.
I can't even wrap my mind around.
And as I said, these ARP funds, other jurisdictions are spending them. They are reporting by the end of August. They're not submitting a plan by the end of August. They are reporting on their expenditures by the end of August.
Yeah.
And so that's another thing, right? And this notion that they are going to withhold their plan on the ARP funds until we are done with the budget, or, you know, till the end of August, it's beginning, it's confusing to say the least, and I'm being nice here, right? I don't think we can, I don't think that's going to be appropriate. We're going to have to, I've been talking to the appropriations chair and to my colleagues as to, you know, what we are going to do to ensure that the people of Guam have they're able to look at the expenditures of these ARP funds, that we're able to have some input on it, and that they are truly priorities, and that we're not going to run into issues of, you know, this being spent unwisely. We have critical issues that we have to face, and this funding to the people eligible for the RISE is one of them.
So what are your colleagues saying about you guys aren't getting this ARPA plan, this investment plan, by the time, you know, the budget is due to be passed? Because we had the minority leader on earlier this week, and he said, you know what, we were duped. We gave our plan, you know, we all 15 of us
went down that loop.
We approved our spending plan. We gave it to the governor. She asked us, let me see yours. We did, and since we met with her, we got nothing. So like he said, quote, we were duped.
Well, I just think we can't give up there. We have to keep on thinking how to approach this. And I think the budget is a big piece of this. So we just have to strategize that. The issue also is, it's really public, you know, what is the public going to know? Like for the CARES, we were pretty much, you know, given this is what's going to happen with it, period. But here, these expenditures are for so much more, and they're really almost the equivalent of our entire government of Guam budget. And to have the power to spend that, just one person, I don't think that's appropriate. So technically, I think there are things that we can do that are going to help guide the expenditure of those funds. And I think it's incumbent upon us as a legislature to stay united on that.
Right.
And so public scrutiny of how we expend these funds is one thing, and I want to ensure that that happens, and that they have, and that we continue to decide as a community what the priorities, are for Guam, and that if we can stay united on this, I think it's in everybody's interest, including the governors, to stay united on what the priorities are for Guam, because, for example, we have to. They always say, you speak in one voice when you go to the federal government, speak in one voice. And, but we have to, showing what the plan is a big part of that. And nobody expects a final plan to be disclosed today, but there have been so many promises made. We can tell from our discussions with the individual agencies and the other branches that they've been promised ARP funds. And so if those kind of discussions are being had, I can't see why those can't be disclosed to the public as well.
Yeah.
Well, it was another Republican senator that said without this plan, these budget oversight hearings are a waste of time.
Well, they are. It's like seeing half the picture. I agree. I don't think I'm satisfied that we're going to sit in there. We're going to decide a spending plan for $700 million while there's $600 million sitting out there to be spent, any which way. And I think we're trying to determine priorities for the government of Guam. That's all we're trying to do. And I just think the people of Guam have a crucial role in that. And I don't want to see them bypassed in this system.
Yeah. Speaker.
So we're going to do everything we can. I don't think it's appropriate. I think they need to have a voice.
How I mean, if you just kind of track the timeline of this, right? So we got the money. I want to say it was it May, Bree, or?
It's been so long.
It's been months. We can't even remember when we got the damn money. But the governor has successfully sat on this Mount Everest of federal funding for months. Hasn't spent a dollar. Told us that we couldn't spend anything because there was a public comment period that we had to wait until July 16th. Then come to find out that the CNMI is spending their money. The states are spending their money. That states and other territories presumably are turning in their spending reports at the end of next month. But here we are with a governor who hasn't spent a dollar. And it's not just the rise or the all rise or whatever you want to call it. We're hearing law enforcement, mayor staff employees, months behind on COVID differential pay, overtime. So it's not like we're just talking about all rise. There's an imminent need for these employees also to be paid what they're owed for working during this pandemic. But how has the governor managed to get away with not spending a single dollar of this money? And it doesn't even look, she went to D.C., so we know that she's not coming back till the first week of August. There's no way money's going to go out before she comes back. So how was she able to still sit on this money and not spend a dollar of it? I don't understand.
Well, you're correct. It's completely within her power to spend the money, and we have encouraged her to do so. We did what was necessary. We put down, even to show that these expenditures we're not going to object to, and we gave her an entire list of how to spend those. Since December, we told her spend it on rise payments to the people before you spend it on anything else, and get those out. And we've been very consistent with that. The legislature, we've been consistent, and we've been united in that. And we've brought that to the people, and we've shown the people what our priorities would be. And of course, guidelines came out after we wrote our initial, request. And so there are additional things that the money can be spent on. But I think if the legislature was united in that, and we even had a public hearing on it, the people, input we've received, we've put that up online. And so there are things that are not controversial. There are things that, everyone agrees. These should be done. These must be done. And I agree. There's no reason. I can't see any reason to delay that. And I think so we don't know the motivations, but we're going to continue to do our job, and that is to keep things public. We're going to continue to keep our issues up in the open, and continue to show that these are what we believe the priorities are, and that expenditure of funds on these priorities, you're not going to get any objection from the legislature. So please, do that. And so we're just going to continue to do what we can in that regard. And the public has a big role in this, right? Across the nation, they have the same issues where the governors were given the authority to spend the money. Legislatures are trying their best to have input into how that money is spent. And the public is really crucial. They have to be vocal, and they, just like in everything, it shouldn't be a battle, but if that's what we need to do, that's what we need to do, right? We need to remain vocal, and I think we use this budget process in any way that we can to ensure that agencies who are going to be spending this money are going to be spending it according to the priorities that have been set forth in the laws of Guam.
Well, I got to ask, Speaker, if you are going to be the acting lieutenant governor, doesn't that give you access, give you kind of some flexing power to say, you know what, BBMR, I want to see that investment plan today?
Bam.
Great idea, Bree. I've never been a lieutenant governor before, so I'm going to try it out. Yes, great idea. Maybe.
Yeah, own it. Come on, Speaker. I mean, that's just the.
Oh, I agree. I think we have to use every option available to us when they are playing this kind of, hide the plan game. I don't know why it doesn't make sense to me. I just think this is something we need to talk about. Put it on the table, and let's discuss it, and let's make it better. And that's something, they have a great team up there, and, across the government of Guam, there's a great team in place. However, I just think there can always be, with input, things can be better. And with input, you can get consensus, and we can get these things paid out smoothly and efficiently, and we can make them better. For example, the RISE, stop the lines. Let's get rid of that and move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so we look forward to seeing that investment plan.
Yeah, so we got the keys to LT Josh's office, or I mean. No, and you know what else is so troubling is that there's been no information. Like, the governor hasn't even come out and said, hey, outside of I want to build a new hospital, this is what we're thinking. I mean, I don't know. I feel like she just owes it to the people of Guam to come out and say, hey, guys, I know everyone's worrying about the money, and I know that you guys have Google and you can see that other places are spending it and I'm not, and this is why. I feel like if people at least heard some kind of reason, whether or not they want to believe it.
I agree. Put it on the table, and let's all deal with it as best we can. And that's, it's unfortunate, but we're going to continue to do what we do. And that's why we came out with a plan very early, because we wanted a public discussion on this. We want it up on the table, and we knew it could get better. We knew for sure. And then when the guidelines came out, there were things that were added. So, I don't think there's any harm in putting up something that you have to amend. I just think that just shows that you're willing to listen to the people of Guam, and that we should do that always. And so we're going to continue to do what we're supposed to do, and that is put our plans up early, put our priorities up, and adjust the laws if we have to ensure the spending is appropriate. I'm looking at things in the budget that we might need to consider that we haven't considered before, and so we'll try.
And just going through some of the comments on these RISE stories that we talk about, there's kind of two trains of thought that you see occurring a lot. One of them is that this idea that somehow this money is earning interest in the bank, which I don't even know is accurate. But then there's the other side of it where people say, oh, she's just sitting on the money because next year's an election year and this is a $600 million campaign war chest. I guess, what are your thoughts on that kind of side of it? Is that a reality, you think?
I don't know. I hesitate to comment on the politics of it all, because that's just going to really I mean, that people are saying that or feeling that is it's it's very troubling. It shouldn't. We don't have to go down that road, right? I feel like if we could just get these plans on the table and have open discussions, and then we wouldn't have to speculate as to what the reasons are. And all this speculation is what happened in the beginning of our pandemic, right? That's when people start to get very negative about, and suspicious about why are we doing this way or that way. And I just think we need to do our best to avoid those types of negative speculations. And the only way to do that is to be upfront.
Yeah, and that's what causes it is when people don't know what's going on, they start filling the void, and then you have
they're so smart. Yeah, if you give them the explanation, they're going to be able to follow it, and they'll follow along, like why, our progress, and we're overcoming this. Like, for example, when Daphne comes on and explains, I put in my plan, I'm waiting for the feds to give their approval on it. We can follow that, and it's frustrating, we're impatient, we want that money to come out, but we can follow it if she continues to give us an update every few days, which I think that's their strength when they do that. And so doing the opposite is just it's a shortfall. So we need to step. Yeah, and the legislature, we need to stay united, and we need to keep the pressure on to put these things on the table.
What bothers me.
We're gonna go ahead, Sabrina.
Can we just hold on to what's bothering everybody for just a second? We're gonna jump over to KUAM TV. Everybody, hold your bothers. KUAM TV, here we come, right now on the link. Good morning. Good morning, Guam, and welcome back to the link. Miss the link, miss a lot, so don't miss it. Brought to you by Cabo Enterprises, IT&E, Jack in the Box, and Pacific Points. We're in progress with our weekly update with the Speaker of the Guam Legislature, Speaker Therese Terlahi. We're talking American Rescue Plan Act fund spending. What spending? There's none of it. And we now go back to Sabrina Saz-Mantanani.
I was just saying that just what bothers me is that this all just kind of, when I think about how we started this new year and how far we've come, it takes me back to the speech that you gave, Speaker, on, bringing trust back into the legislature, back into our elected leaders. And then later on, the governor, she issued her statement with regard to the inauguration of the 36th Guam legislature, a whole slate of new elected leaders. And something that she had wrote was like, we need to get to work. She said, and I pulled it up because it just reminded me, that she was excited to work with the Speaker and the members of the 36th Guam legislature. None of us can do this alone. Together we can solve problems and make the government a powerful force for good.
Wait, who said that? The Speaker said that?
Yeah, because she's no. That was the governor.
Oh, the governor said
in congratulating the inauguration of the senators and the mayors, and she was calling on everybody. Let's work together.
What?
We've got a great deal of work to do to creating jobs, kickstarting our economy, and improving the lives of our people. And this was ahead of everybody knowing that we were going to get this big,
yes.
All this money from ARPA.
Yeah.
And
that's because we didn't have money then, and the governor was like, let's work together because we're broke, but now that we got money,
no, but we
like,
all
I don't want to work with
we all
anybody.
knew that we were going to be getting this money, this assistance, and that was in January. We got the money in May, and now nobody is going to get anything, it looks like, until August or the end of August or September.
Well, we're going to continue to do what we can do. I can't answer for the governor, this morning, but she, as a legislature, I am sure that my colleagues and I are going to continue to do what we can, and we're going to continue to do it united as possible. So, for example, we're going into session first week of August. We are, of course, August is set aside for budget, but in the first week, we're going to have some other bills put on the agenda and get those out. And we're going to also be considering the nomination of Alberto Tolentino as judge of the Superior Court. We had a public hearing on that. I don't know if you watched that. There was a lot of very good testimony in his favor. And so we're looking forward to that. And then some other bills that we can get through before the budget is dispersed to us so that we can get to the budget deliberations. And as I said, because of the ARP funds, I expect, in discussions with my colleagues, I think this is correct, that our budget deliberations are going to be very much, focused, but definitely the ARP funding that is almost equivalent to our GovGuam budget is going to be a huge part of our consideration as we make these budget deliberations. And again, we're here, we're supposed to be a check and balance. I think the legislature is up to the task, and I think we're going to do whatever is possible to make sure that the ARP funds are spent in accordance with the priorities of the people of Guam, and that we have great needs out there, and we have a great opportunity also. And so we want to make sure that this opportunity is not wasted, and that this opportunity is one, you can go both ways, right? There's a way where you can do it without any consensus, and there's a way where you can get consensus. And I think if we can get consensus, we're going to build trust. We're not going to have CARES 2, right? Where it's question after question after question. It's going to be everybody on Guam is up with the same plan, and we agree with these priorities, and we are moving forward. And we know what we're going to expect at the end of, the 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, what those big goals are, and for future generations. And so this is our opportunity to do that. And I for one, and I am just very confident, my colleagues feel the same, we are not going to waste this opportunity. So we're going to do everything we can. So it looks frustrating now, but I'm confident we're going to find a way.
Well, you said question after question after question. How about the $3 million question cost in this audit that was recently released by the public auditor?
So remember, yes, of course, remember Senator Perez had a oversight hearing on that, and that was all laid out very clearly at the time that they were claiming superpowers expenditure of that money, and that they admitted it was not pursuant to the procurement law. GSA was not involved at all, and that was all on the record back then. And yeah, even the Attorney General's office was involved in saying we approved this, right?
Yeah.
So
we like this.
The big question now is what happens after the audit, right? And what action does the Attorney General's office going to take, if any, on this?
Yeah, if any.
So yeah, I'm glad he did the audit. It's the thing about audits, right? They're after the fact. So I thought it was very clear when Senator Perez took the initiative, had those oversight hearings, and really laid it out. It was so crystal clear at the time that they had gone way beyond the procurement law. So that should have been very apparent to the Attorney General's office at the time, who's charged
why is this funny?
Charged with enforcing these things.
Yeah.
And that's really where we may have a gap.
Did you see our interview with the auditor? We had the public auditor on Tuesday. And so basically he said that I felt like he said this was an illegal procurement. So I asked him, is there anything actionable that you're going to send over to the AG? And he was just like tap dancing all around the question. But in your estimation, do you think that there is anything that could be prosecutable with the audit and its findings?
I don't know, but I'm going to send that audit and the oversight hearing transcript over to the AG again. The AG was involved in the oversight hearing, and they were involved in these procurements. They were directly involved. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, if anything, but we're definitely going to make sure that it's on their table, and that they have no excuse not to take a look at it.
Yeah.
And no, I agree that, those were the big questions we had back then, right? And we don't want to go through that again. That is really, we need the details enough to know that we can trust how they're going to spend the money, and that we're not have to, continue to hound them as to every single dollar because we've got a, in general, a consensus on how it will be spent. And that's what we want. And even the methods of how it will be spent and how they will decide priorities that they don't know yet, right? For example, when we say put in infrastructure for water, we want water infrastructure. We want roads, right? The current plans are just not enough. We're not going to meet what I think we should have on Guam with our current budgets and our current revenues. So this ARP funds is crucial in that regard, and bringing in water to many areas is going to be able to allow us to expand affordable housing, expand businesses, expand revenue, and hopefully improve quality of life, which that's my big hope for this money. We're going to improve quality of life all the way around. And so we can't do it without the ARP funds. And so I can't see why anyone's going to object to that type of use of it. And so I would hope that they could put those things on the table as soon as possible. Otherwise, we're going through a budget where we are seeing DPW come in with a list of how many roads they're going to accomplish in FY22. And, it's a good list. It's a list that was developed in conjunction with the mayors, but it's not very extensive, right? And so we know this process is excruciatingly slow for Guam. How many roads we can get done in one fiscal year based on the revenues in that account. So that's why I'm saying, while we have this opportunity, we can't waste it, and we need to take care of these infrastructure needs that are really going to improve overall quality of life.
They're not so sexy sounding for the Lou and Josh campaign, though. Running water, roads.
Oh, really? Oh, I think it is.
I know.
I don't know.
They make a jingle out of it.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, acting lieutenant governor / Madam Speaker.
We're going.
You got the keys to Adelube. Let's make this count. You got what? How long is the governor going to be gone? I think I heard first week of August.
Oh wow,
we're
that's
going
plenty
into
of
session
time.
first week of August.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to do some bills, a few bills before we do the budget. Then we'll be doing the budget. And a lot of these agencies, as you've seen, have been coming in with budgets. For example, public health, 17 million below last year's expenditures, which was cut. I mean, they've been reduced. It's not making any sense. So I don't know, maybe that's
sorry, we don't know what to do other than laugh now. I don't know what else to do. I'm either gonna cuss or laugh, so we're gonna go with laugh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we need to make sense to the people of Guam as a government. We have to make sense. We have to show good faith. We have to be transparent as possible, and we have to move. And I think and I can't see any reason why these ARP funds cannot be paid today.
You never know, though, Madam Speaker. Acting Governor Josh Tenorio, he could just say, "Let's pay this now." Come on. Maybe he doesn't agree. We know there have been differences between Lou and Josh before, so maybe he can be the liberation hero.
To them for the last couple of days, so I'm very much hoping that they are seriously looking at it again, and that they're going to find a way.
Right on. Thank you, Madam Speaker, Acting Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay,
Good
we'll
luck
see you.
coverage last night, Sabrina. That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Stay safe.
See you. Yeah, great show last night, Bree and Jason. Oh man, that was. Whew.
It was nice, right, to just kind of do something fun, I think. You know?
Yep. Something fun, and then come back to this stuff. Come back to this crap.
Short-lived fun times.
I really don't get it. And, let's implore our acting governor, Josh Tenorio, because he could come in and totally save the day. I mean, he could.
Totally.
He totally could. He could be like, you know what? Enough.
And just to go back,
what's the PIN number for the ATM for the ARP? I want it now.
Just to go back, when this whole hotel quarantine craziness happened last year, he did. He was the one. He was on our show.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, there's some issues."
It was like they're red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember he said that in the interview with us, he said that he had gotten text messages from Mr. Tim Uggan, who was the Guam Homeland Security administrator at the time, about the procurement. Basically, no, you don't do any procurement. Even though he had been doing, the legwork leading up to the point of, I guess, when it was time to start the procurement, he was told not to pull the trigger on it. So, because I know there was a question that the BJ had brought up. Oh, well, they'd known about it since January, and March came when the first flight came in, and there was this sudden rush to get the quarantine hotels.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of threw me for a loop when the speaker said that there's a transcript of that hearing, because I feel sorry for whoever had to transcribe that thing. I mean, there was like people talking over. Carlo Branch was trying to cut people off. It was
a long marathon hearing.
Maybe we need to do like a throwback or something. Play a big chunk of that. You know what I mean?
Just play back the packages.
Right, yeah. It's 8:13. Let's go ahead and get into the news now.
Okay.
With the very latest, we're going to jump right into this link update, which is brought to you by Pacific Points, right here on the link. Good morning, Guam. It is 8:13.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
As the island commemorates its 77th year of liberation from Japanese occupation, the governor, during her speech at Adelup yesterday, also acknowledged the war we are currently battling against COVID-19 and what still needs to be done to hold the line.
From victory some 77 years ago to the push for vaccinations.
We're just watching the numbers. We still have 1,300 people to go to get to the 80%.
The governor, speaking at a memorial ceremony, weaved our wartime story of the past to our present-day conflict.
And while every liberation has its liberators, look around you. Each of you have been soldiers in our fight. You did what needed to be done. You wore your mask, watched your distance, and washed your hands. And when the vaccine became available, you got your shots. You have been our army in this battle. For that, I thank you for helping us to achieve one of the highest vaccination rates in the nation and in the world. In the coming days, we will have achieved Operation Liberate Guam. When this day comes, life will resume to some sense of normalcy. We will enjoy friends and family without caps and social gatherings, and businesses can resume operations at 100% occupancy with no limits. While I plan to lift these restrictions, our mask mandate will remain in place. Historically, July 21 marked the turning point for Guam, and the same sentiment rings true today.
As of Wednesday morning, the island was 1,400 shots shy of achieving adult herd immunity. The governor will not restore the island to PCOR 4 until herd immunity is achieved. It's a goal she is confident we will achieve and beat COVID because, as history has shown, against all peril, we rise.
We were occupied for about 3 years, and our people lived a lot of sad events and tragic events. But our people are strong, and we survived. And we will also survive all dangers that have come to our shores. And so I say, contra y peligro, tafanatsu.
More than a decade ago, a bill was signed into law designed to provide the process and information about whether a doctor on Guam has ever been disciplined. Years later, a lawsuit has been filed for the lack of its implementation.
Attorney Vanessa Williams represents David Lubofsky. His 5-year-old son, Asher, died at the Guam Memorial Hospital in October 2018. In September of last year, he filed 2 separate complaints, one with the Guam Board of Allied Health Professionals and the other with the Guam Board of Medical Examiners. He alleged that 2 doctors and several other licensed health professionals acted in an unprofessional, improper, incompetent, and unlawful manner in the monitoring and treatment of his son.
And there was
there doesn't seem to be a clear path for investigation or process, where you can see, okay, these are the rules and this is what's going to happen.
This lack of clarity in action was the impetus behind a lawsuit filed in June. According to the writ of mandate filed in the Superior Court, it's alleged that the Guam Board of Medical Examiners and the Guam Board of Allied Health Professionals have not adopted rules and regulations related to the investigation of complaints. They've also not followed local law mandating that doctors who've ever been disciplined be posted on a website.
In this case, what we're asking them to do is to comply with the requirement by law that has to post this information about doctors, healthcare professionals online for the public to see, and then to have certain rules and regulations related to the investigation of complaints for their made by people to the boards. It doesn't tell them like how to do it, how to post these things or how to investigate complaints. There's no authority for that. It just says, please do it. Or, judge, please order them to do it.
The Patient Protection Through Information Act has been on the books since 2011. It was amended to expand further access to the public of a physician's profile in January 2018.
By this process, he wanted to ensure that, regardless of what happens to his complaint, that anyone who goes through this process is going to know that they were heard, that it was investigated properly, and that they will, be responded to in a timely manner. Because he's had, so it's just been haphazard with the complaints that he's filed over the years, and with other people too who aren't part of this lawsuit, but that have come to light where they just feel frustrated, feel unheard, and they don't feel protected by these boards, that no one's, speaking on their behalf. So that's really where this lawsuit came from.
Attorney Williams filed the lawsuit on June 15th. On July 7th, it appears the GBME finally went online, announcing the official launch of its website. KUAM, however, could not find information on whether any physicians have ever been disciplined, but residents are now able to fill out a complaint form online against a licensed health professional. In the meantime, a hearing on this lawsuit has been scheduled for August 10th.
While a third public hearing has not yet been announced for controversial Bill 112, Governor Lulian Guerrero is optimistic a compromise on the measure will be reached.
I'm not asking her to drop Bill 112. I have made the position that maybe it needs to be discussed more, and that she could take it back to committee and work with the key stakeholders, the doctors, the consumers, the lawyers. I know she's been holding public hearings, which is, of course, a necessary part of public policy. But in those public hearings, really, you don't get the opportunity to discuss frankly and to discuss in greater details what some of these solutions might be. I think at the end, I feel very optimistic that there will be a solution.
The main sponsor of the bill is Speaker Therese Terlahi, who also chairs the Committee on Health. The intent of the measure is to provide a way for those who can't afford medical arbitration to be able to file a legitimate medical malpractice claim. Currently, the law mandates that all claims must go through costly arbitration. The bill seeks to remedy this by removing mandatory arbitration and adding the option of going before a magistrate's judge. Several members of the island's healthcare community vehemently oppose her bill. The Republican Party of Guam is gearing up for Decision 2022. Starting today and tomorrow, they are hosting workshops with party members and potential candidates at the Dusitani Guam Resort. The training will actually be conducted by several members of the Republican National Committee. RNC Deputy Chief of Staff Rick Gorka is one of them.
We're bringing experts in training on a host of topics from political communications, fundraising, digital data, to arm the candidates in Guam with the latest in technology and techniques to run the best campaigns possible. So we're spending and looking forward to spending a few days working our way around the island, meeting as many folks as possible, answering a lot of questions, and making sure that the candidates that Juan Carlos is recruiting are ready to run very effective and competitive campaigns, being smart with the resources that we all have to work with when we're running for office.
Participants are asked to please register so the GOP can make appropriate accommodations. The two-day training sessions are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The training program will be free of charge for registered members of the Republican Party. For more information, email Republican Party of Guam Chairperson Juan Carlos Benitez at jbenitez@wpedg.com. The demand for school supplies on the rise. Catholic Social Services is accepting donations for their back-to-school drive until Friday. For the past few years, CSS has conducted the school supply drives to benefit the children in need on the island as they return back to school. The nonprofit organization was unable to hold one last year, of course, due to COVID. But this year, they're back, and Lisa Berdalio, who is the Client Service Program Manager of Catholic Social Services, says they are doubling the amount of requests of donations as the need has increased.
And we are now taking donated school supplies to put together backpacks, starter kits for the kids. So it'll have it will include the backpack, and in the backpack some general supplies like school glue, scissors, pencils, crayons or pens, and filler paper, composition notebooks, just the general stuff that's needed. So many of our families request for this, and there is a lot of need out there, and it really does help them out. So we try to do this every year, and we're looking forward to helping more people this year.
The goal is to fill 500 school bags of supplies. Over 300 children benefited from the drive in 2019. Donations can be dropped off at the CSS main office in Barrigada Heights. For more information, call 635-1424, or you can email md@cssguam.org. And for more news, go to KUAM.com and stay here for more on the link.
This news update is brought to you by Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
It was earlier this week the State Department announced that Fort Lee, Virginia will be the initial site where 2,500 Afghan nationals and their families will be evacuated to as part of Operation Allies Refuge. These are Afghan allies that are already in the process for their Special Immigration Visa, or SIV. During a press conference this morning, Defense Department Secretary Lloyd Austin announced that there are other locations overseas that are currently under consideration where other Afghans will be sent that aren't as far along in the SIV process. No word on whether Guam is one of those locations. Any more news? If Governor Leon Guerrero isn't ready to make the all-rise local pandemic assistance payments yet, then Republican senators may try to take matters into their own hands. Nestor Lecanto has more.
The governor has already said no to Senator Jim Moylan's request to call an emergency session so senators can amend the RISE Act law. She said it's not an emergency and can wait until online applications are ready and when final spending guidance is released by the Treasury Department. But Moylan says it is an emergency.
I can't see when it's an emergency, if declaring that it is not an emergency when you're telling people or our residents of Guam that it's first come, first serve. I don't see that we can't consider this an emergency when you're saying there's a cap on the amount of money. And again, I don't see when you can't see this as an emergency, Governor, when we had the PUA ending in 50 or less days.
And the list goes on. Moylan also has a list of proposed amendments that include increasing the payouts to $1,000 for singles and $2,000 for couples, and eliminating the funding cap altogether so that everyone who qualifies gets paid.
It's amazing. It's called the American Rescue Plan, where the federal government is providing these funds, over $600 million, to the people of Guam, and it's supposed to be a rescue plan. Not a stressful plan. It's supposed to be rescue. And the folks that are qualified for this due to the pandemic, then this is where the money should go.
But he can't fast track a bill without a special session. If the governor won't do it, he's asking the speaker to. If she doesn't do it, they have a backup plan.
In August, we'll be going into the budget hearing. We will make the move as an amendment to the budget to include these changes that we've introduce it right into the budget. And I believe that I have the support of my colleagues because we want to do the right thing.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Speaker Talahi issued a response to Senator Moylan stating she has consulted with legal counsel and determined she could not certify an emergency involving danger to public health or safety. However, she's asked Finance Committee Chairperson Joe St. Augustine to fast-track a public hearing on Senator Moylan's bill. She's also written to the governor supporting Moylan's request to remove the application impediments by executive order so that Revenue Tax can implement the RISE program with minimal documentation. Governor Lulian Guerrero heading off to the nation's capital today. As a reporter, she is scheduled to meet with cabinet officials within the Biden administration, such as the heads of the Department of the Interior and Commerce. Traveling with her will be Chief of Staff John Jr. Calvo, Communications Director Crystal Paco St. Augustine, and First Gentleman Jeff Cook. Community Defense Liaison Executive Director Vera Topasnia is already in D.C. And while there, the governor will also participate in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Guam Pillar of the World War II Memorial. A federal lawsuit filed against the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for failing to designate 23 endangered species in Guam and the CNMI. Tyler Matanani has more.
The Center for Biological Diversity is suing the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service for failing to designate critical habitats for 14 species of plants and 9 species of animals in Guam, Saipan, Tinian, Palau, and the FSM, which they say is a direct violation of the Endangered Species Act. Hawaii Director and Staff Attorney for Center for Biological says, quote, "We can't stop the extinction crisis if wildlife officials ignore the law and abandon the places where imperiled species live. Militarization, invasive species, climate change, and urban sprawl have taken an enormous toll. Since government officials won't take action, we're asking the court to force them to." The issue dates back to 2015 when the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service listed 23 plants and animal species in the U.S. Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands and Guam. The list includes tiny sac-wing bats, bright orange and yellow tree snails, beautiful 8-spotted butterflies, and brilliant blue damselflies. The Blue Ocean Law Group is also representing the Center for Biological Diversity. According to attorney Julian Uggan, we need to get serious about protecting our endangered and threatened species. He adds the first step is to designate critical habitat. The second is to stop giving the military a free pass. We're suing Fish and Wildlife to remind them they must do both. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Tyler Matanani.
And that's your news. We'll have more on the link after the break.
KUAM Digital presents a series highlighting the wide array of talents on our island. Whether they're a standout gamer, extreme athlete, performer, or have a unique skill to show off, we're showcasing them every month on Wow Factor. Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do. Get yourself all caught up with the week's games, scores, and highlights with the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup on KUAM News Weekend Edition. It's all-inclusive, all the fun and all the action wrapped up in the perfect presentation. Relive the moments on the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup, brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
We're on a mission to fill the bus with necessary school supplies and food for our island's children in need. The KUAM Care Force and Salvation Army, along with our partners GTA, Twinkles, Anderson Air Force Base, and Kloppenburg Enterprises, are collecting necessary items including school supplies and food items to help send our community's youngest and most vulnerable members back to school. New backpacks, notebooks, pencils, pens, crayons, and other donations are welcome, as well as food pantry items. Please do your part and give every child a chance to learn, grow, be nourished, and have a wonderful return to school. You may drop off your supplies to our Harmon Studios weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. up until Friday, August 6th, or come down to our finale between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 7th, where we'll be attempting to fill the bus with all your donations. Rise up to the challenge, embrace radical generosity, and help us fill the bus for Salvation Army and kids in need. See the complete list of items being accepted on KUAM.com.
Anticipating whether you're gonna make a move to get on the dance floor. While this song plays just for you, I'm longing to see you sway from left to right. Let these vibes take you away to keep you dancing all night. Can't you feel it, baby? Feel it in your soul. know you feel elated. Go ahead and lose control, 'cause I can see it coming. That sparkle in your eye, if it's a groovy.
All right, everybody, today is Thursday, and that means tomorrow is Friday, and that means we will be telling you which lucky organization on Guam, private sector, GovGuam, federal, military, church group, nonprofit, it doesn't matter. We are going to make somebody's day. 15 colleagues, team members, division heads, what have you, are going to have an amazing lunch tomorrow, and this week's featured restaurant, courtesy of our friends of Uno Guam and their office lunch campaign, is Jamaican Grill. So make sure, if you still want to get your chance to have lunch for you and 14 of your coworkers, all you got to do is register as a user on the Uno Go website or the Uno Go mobile app, and then follow them on Facebook or Instagram and send them a DM. Let them know who you are, why you deserve like a totally radical lunch, as we used to say, like in the 80s. Yeah, thank you. And then indicate
Totally rad.
Totally rad. It's a gnarly lunch, totally tubular. and then let the folks at Uno Go know why you deserve that lunch. Let them know where you are, where you're located, and if you're lucky, we will announce your organization tomorrow. So best of luck to you guys.
Right on. Way to go, guys.
Yeah. Gag me with a
Totally
spoon.
awesome.
Gag me with a spoon. I think Superintendent John Fernandez knows a couple like 80s.
I'm pretty sure.
phrases.
Pretty sure. Good morning, John.
Good morning, and please stop talking about food.
No breakfast this morning, John?
I understand you've been talking a lot about food, considering the fact on Liberation Day, before, probably when most of us were asleep. From what I understand, you were participating in a conference or a something on food security in the territory. Did that actually happen? Because I know you mentioned it at the Guam Education Board meeting.
No, absolutely. We had an opportunity just to participate in an informal conversation with members of the House Rules Committee, Chairman Jim McGovern from Massachusetts, other representatives, including our own Congressman Mike Nicholas, and from the other territories, from Congressman Sablon from the CNMI, and then the representatives from American Samoa and the Virgin Islands as well, also Puerto Rico, and then various representatives from the community. I was there. There were two public health commissioners and two nonprofit organizations as well. So it looks like Chairman McGovern, as the House Rules Committee chair, is approaching the issue of hunger not only on a personal level, which has been one of his priorities, but recognizing that hunger, like poverty, really isn't contained in one committee. It's really something that every committee in Congress, every agency on Guam and in the states really needs to look at, very broadly. So he's using his platform as a way to highlight the issues of hunger in the territories around the country. And then I believe he hopes that it'll culminate in a White House conference on hunger, and hopefully raise awareness and prioritize the issues of hunger and poverty for this administration and Congress. So my role was really just to share some of the things that were going on. I believe the congressman suggested my participation just because of the role the Department of Education has played with regard to food and food issues, especially during the pandemic. I woke up at 4 in the morning to get ready for 5 in the morning, a conversation. And the 4 things I touched on was, number one, just the ability to feed all of our kids in school at no cost because of a special provision that was authorized by Congress under the Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act of 2010. And so that's called the Community Eligibility Provision that we piloted back in 2014. And now all 41 schools, all students are able to take advantage of the school breakfast and school lunch at no cost to them. So we still have to pay for it. We get a better reimbursement rate and so forth, but it allows us to stop worrying about whether kids have the opportunity to eat. The second thing we talked about was the flexibility that we've been given over this pandemic to shift from traditional cafeteria serving of meals to what we did on Guam with this flexibility, doing 12 sites for grab and go back in March of last year, and then shifting to non-perishable food items at all school sites. That really took us through July of this year, and that enabled us again to push 7 million school meals out to students during this pandemic. The third thing we talked about was the TFAP program, and now that of course is an ongoing program. We've been doing it for years. It's just that the demand for food when we reopened TFAP after the shutdown, we reopened in May, I believe, of 2020. And I think you remember the news story from that day was the long traffic lines in PD. And we were just completely unprepared we had 5,000 bags that we were going to give out, but the traffic was much longer. So I think you'll remember we shifted to trying to do a regional one in Tizen and Agate Mayor's office, but people were still lining up at these really early hours in the morning, 2 to 3 in the morning, in their cars and just waiting. Because I would wake up to calls like at 7 in the morning where people were complaining, I've been waiting here for 4 hours. I go, wait a minute, what time did they get there? And it turns out people were really desperate for food, and they were coming in so early in the morning, which was not a safe way to handle it. So we now have shifted to the mayors. They've been very strong partners in allowing us to do distributions through the mayor's offices on a rotating basis. And then the mayors then work with their residents to let them know when those distributions are happening. So that's allowed us to push about 2 million units of food out to the families through the TFAP program. And remember that for the TFAP program there's an eligibility component, and it's really kind of aligned with SNAP recipients. During the pandemic, we raised it from about 250 to 400% of poverty to widen the eligibility, knowing that people had lost their jobs, people were cutting hours, and so that flexibility that we were given is perfect. And then the fourth thing is the upcoming program that we talked about last week, the pandemic EBT program, which really which provides every student a support of up to between $1,200 and $1,300 to address the impact from last year's school closures, and they will get that funding loaded up on a card and be able to go to the store to purchase food for the next year. So those plans are still, in the works. What I've been hearing about, again, you've been talking about the RISE Act and how that's going to work and when that's going to happen. And the only thing I keep thinking about is the long lines at the mayor's offices that that have come about because of people wanting to make sure they're ready to go. So it's my plan. I've got to check in with my staff to make sure I look in on the distribution plan for these cards, which are expected to go out towards late August. I think August 20th is the target date. But we're really trying to make sure. I need to make sure that this is as smooth and easy as possible. Don't put the burden, on our families to take advantage of this support. So that was our contribution to talk about. Obviously there are lots of challenges. I mean, one of the things I emphasized to the chairman is that the pandemic, as tough as it has been because of the health situation, the urgency and the flexibility that has come along with these federal funds is exactly what we need to continue after the pandemic. I mean, the supports are great, but having the ability to be innovative, to be flexible, to be able to change direction as the local conditions require, that's really been helpful. And not just here, but the other territories are saying the same thing. This flexibility that you've given because of the unique situation, that's what we've all been asking for, so that you don't get caught in the bureaucratic processes or the technicalities, but can actually push the funds out for support. So I did get some sleep after that, but it was an interesting conversation, and if it culminates in a White House conference, we're looking forward to being part of that conversation as well.
So in terms of the meeting and your progress report, because you did have quite a lot of things that you touched on before the Guam Education Board Tuesday night with regard to the latest with preparations for the reopening and the return of face-to-face. So if you could just kind of give us a progress report as well here on the link.
So the magic number for today is 21, and that is 21 days until the first day of school for our kids. August 12th is the first day of school. We have 21 days. I'm including weekends because I know people don't want to rush right to that day. So 21 days and that we have to, finalize and make sure we're ready to go on day one, again, which is August 12th, 2021, the first day of classes. Between now and then, we do plan to have, push an informational campaign through the various, through radio, through our TV partners, through social media, to really update and make sure that the questions that we're getting from parents and students and employees can be put out there and and updated and do it right as people are focusing in on the start of the school year, because we're starting to see some of those questions now that people are focusing on the start on the start of the school year. So they're focusing so we're starting to get those bits and pieces of, hey, I registered for online. What if I want to go to face-to-face? Can you confirm what the schedules will be? And also vice versa. Can I register my kindergartner now for online? So we're going to sort through all those and try to, put the information out there so that people don't have to ask some of those questions if they can just get it, updated, generally speaking. So look forward to that over the next 3 weeks as we head into the school year. I mean, of course, that's going to include the safety protocols, which I think are very important to make sure people understand. We're coming back, but it's still in a COVID-19 environment. So here's what, is going to still be in place. Number two, I think the question we're getting the most is the schedule for face-to-face learning. And as much as I've talked about it, and again, even last week, I informed you that, I have submitted draft language for review and consideration for the next public health guidance on school. We're expecting, and in our conversations, it sounds like we're on the same page, that we'll be able to operate school next year 5 days of instruction per week. And if you're coming to school, you come to school every day, like a normal school year, and we should be able to accommodate the face-to-face instruction like normal with of course safety strategies in place. That means we anticipate the continued use of face masks. We anticipate the continued focus on sanitation, sanitization, hand washing, all of that will still be in place. Physical distancing will still be a requirement. However, the requirement is that we maximize where possible. But again, knowing that if we're not able to meet the maximum or the recommended 3 feet, CDC has given us given the green light that as long as you have the other measures in place, that should not be a reason to not allow in-person learning. So we're just waiting for the actual language to be decided upon and put out in a public health guidance memo, the updated memo, so that we can push that out, with 100% certainty. Because right now we're still trying to get to that final point.
Right.
So once we get that, we'll push it out. Information about buses, we've been discussing with DPW the upcoming school year, what the challenges might be and so forth. What DPW has informed us is that, we're concerned about, as this is not even a pandemic issue. Normally we're concerned about the supply of buses, the availability of bus drivers in a given school year. We've been concerned about this coming school year because of the physical distancing requirements and because some of the fleet were still being utilized for the quarantine operations up at the airport. So, we're definitely working to return those buses to the school fleet. And I understand that they also should have additional buses that they were able to purchase from Dodea, from the vendor that was working with Dodea. And there's also an interest, and we're supportive of this, in trying to find resources to purchase even more new buses, knowing that some of those buses are really just, decades old and in need of replacement. So that's something that's positive. They are working with public health to finalize the busing guidance. So, by tomorrow, We're hoping to hear what that guidance is. I've looked over the CDC guidance with regard to transportation. There really isn't a distancing or a maximum capacity cap that they put in that guidance. It's more along the lines of face masking, open the windows if possible, and maximize physical distancing if possible. But they don't, certainly it gives us the flexibility to continue with normal bus operations next year. So that's what we're waiting to confirm.
John, is online learning totally eliminated as an option for the upcoming school year?
No, we had, obviously there's some board members and we've discussed just removing it as an option, but when we were planning for the start of the school year, we don't just do that right in the middle of the summer. We were doing that way back in, March and April. And so given what we knew then, we still wanted to make sure that we gave an option to parents and students because we weren't sure about our capacity levels at that time. So we enabled them to register for online learning. And so we are going to meet that commitment to those families to continue with online learning, at least for the coming semester. Should we change direction, we do want to make sure families have notice so that they're able to adjust. So again, because we're still working through these issues this summer, we want to go ahead and preserve that. If you are a family, your kids are registered for online, we will continue to provide that online learning, and you will be assigned to an online class with dedicated online teachers who, I think this year what's different from last year is we're not requiring the teachers to do all, 3 models of learning. We're requiring them to either be an online teacher or you're going to be a classroom teacher, and we're going to be operating basically, parallel but separate models of learning for the school year. Now, this could change, but I think if it does change, it's going to require, and I would recommend that we give our families, more than a couple months notice so that they're aware and they can prepare for maybe next semester returning to face-to-face instruction. A lot of families want to see how it goes, and they want to wait for the vaccination opportunities for maybe the younger kids. So we understand all that, and we're really listening to make sure we're hearing what our community says.
John,
I think in addition to the, like I said, in addition to the information we're pushing out, we are planning to go ahead and schedule additional Zoom sessions for parents as well in the evenings and maybe on a Saturday, just so we can also interact and answer questions through that method as well. We'll get that schedule out if that happens.
Sorry, John. So if what if there's a student who didn't sign up for the online, but maybe the parent's concerned with the Delta variant or whatever? Is it too late? Has that ship sailed?
I think they can go ahead and work to and apply to see if online is possible. But because of, there may be situations that we're hearing in schools based on the number of teachers and the number of online teachers and then the number of students who have registered for one or the other, it may not be possible to create another online class, if the online classes are full. So because what happens is you're taking a teacher from a classroom and then, moving them to online. And if you don't have enough online students, that may be a challenge. So we're hearing that in some schools where we know that we can't afford to take one teacher to teach 3 kids, where there's a full class of, 20 kids that need an instructor. But again, I think you need to check in at your school, because we did also create regional online classes for those classes where there were only a few kids in each school. But if you pooled them together, one teacher could teach, all of them at the same time, and, whether they're coming from different schools, as long as we had enough. So that's why we did the early registration, to make sure we could start to organize along those lines.
John, I wanted to follow up on something that was kind of mentioned, and I missed the whole discussion on it. There was something about uniforms and perhaps maybe assistance for those families that couldn't afford them.
Right. So we're monitoring and we're listening and we're paying close attention to the information that we're getting. The uniform policy has been reinstated for the school year, and that uniform policy means that you are required, if you're a face-to-face student, you're required to wear uniform your school uniform to class every day. Now, the policy has some flexibility around the bottoms. So the bottoms don't have to be from a specific vendor. They can actually be from any vendor as long as they are appropriate and are in the same color. So that makes it, gives that some relief to some schools that have black, navy, khaki bottoms, and the kids want something that maybe fits better, or as long as it's appropriate and doesn't have any holes in it and it's not too short. That flexibility is in the current policy, so that's something that the kids can do. Unfortunately, if you go to JFK, like my daughter does, you cannot find a lot of green shorts on the market. But
No, because the Bucks won, so now there's plenty. Plenty of green shorts.
We might be going after some of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Go Bucks!
But for many other schools that works. So the only other issue, of course, is that because we're still in a pandemic situation, we did have discussion, the board members, student members of the board, about affordability and what the obstacles that presents to some of the families. So I mean, the vendors, from Royal Bix, as well as from from Modagino's were there, and that was the conversation with them 2 meetings ago, where we said, look, you normally provide vouchers to the schools to help with students. Unfortunately, we're going to be coming out of a pandemic. That need is going to be broader, and that need is going to be deeper for many families. So we're asking that you work with your schools to increase the level of assistance that you're providing them, because we know that affordability is going to be a key issue. I think our board members wanted to strike that compromise. I said, we do know that uniforms are beneficial. Some parents are saying it's actually more affordable to go with the uniform than try to find clothing for every day of the school year for our kids. But for those who can't, we're looking to the vendors to continue their support for vouchers for uniforms. I think we're going to see how it goes this year. There are some board members who say, well, if there's still an issue, we might want to revisit the entire uniform policy, next year, before next school year, if we're not satisfied. So I'm very interested in seeing, how this progresses. And we're still not at the beginning of the school year yet, but between now and then, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot of input about the availability and the cost of uniforms as they go, as people go back to the stores to get ready for the school year.
I'm sorry, just one other thing, and if parents need to know, because you guys did approve a new grading. I'm not even sure if it's new, this new grading policy or system.
Yeah, so that information will be coming out it's a little bit more complicated than the uniforms are not, right? I mean, this is really shifting from from our current grading system more towards a standards-based grading system, and that's something that's kind of been in the works for a while. And what's interesting is that when we were going through the pandemic and having a discussion about grading and how we would grade based on the different models of learning, I think interesting enough, the teachers came back and said, well, we ought to grade this way, and it actually went towards standards-based grading. Let's grade them on what they know, what they can demonstrate they know. Let's look at what proficiency looks like, so that we can then grade across several different models of learning and feel like we're giving consistent marks. So that's what's happening in the elementary to middle school. There'll be standards-based grading. In the high school level, I believe we'll still maintain the percentage, the percentage calculation, but it also will be able to be converted into standards-based grading, and there's a scale for doing that. So as we enter the school year, we'll put out that information in the handbook so that it's clearer to the parents. But I think if you've been through this pandemic, you've seen versions of this grading for your students, either as an interim, report. And I know a lot of people would say, well, what does a 2 mean? How much, we've gone through that. What does a 3 mean? And we've been able to kind of address that over the course of the pandemic. And now I think we're going towards full implementation, which I think, again, will take some time for people to get used to. But, it's something that we've been working towards, and which has been accelerated these last 18 months.
Okay. Yeah, I'll wait for the press release because I know I was trying to listen to Joe last night, the night before, trying to explain it, and I was just getting confused. Yeah. So thanks,
well,
John.
It's part of it's like looking at instead of an 0 to 100% scoring, and looking at it from like a 4.0 grade scale, right? And then shifting to that, and then understanding what the different levels means and how you interpret that through the course of getting the work back from your students. So what I've observed, because of course that's a big shift, and there's been some resistance to it within that. We've got to convince people and show the teachers, really help people understand what's going on. But the kids, I think, have been exposed to it, and they come home. My son comes home and says, this is what my proficiency standard is. Here's what I got. I got a level three on my on this assignment. This is what I needed to know, and this is what I didn't demonstrate. And they're able to explain it in ways that we've been hopeful that our teachers are also able to do as well, because that's really the focus, getting our teachers to agree. When we went through the pandemic, it was really the teachers driving this, because it's hard to give grades out when you're getting them in different forms, a hard copy version, in-class instruction, online, and trying to figure what does an A mean, across the board. So really trying to focus in on demonstrating knowledge, demonstrating learning, and how that translates into a fair grade across the board. And so again, we'll try to summarize all of this in the information that's going out, but it'll probably take a quarter or two this school year to really ensure that parents have their questions answered and get used to that shift. In high school really is where those grades count, because those grades count towards credit. The kids get competitive about their percentages because you got the merit scholars on the line, scholarships on the line, and so forth. So there was a different approach, to high school to kind of maintain the existing system, but allow for a conversion so that we could make sure that we were consistent, with the grading system we're using for elementary and middle.
Well, it sounds like your boy's a future superintendent in the making if he could break down the standards-based grading.
It really is good to see, though, that the teachers are really taking the lead and are driving it, because I think that's always been a concern. Whenever you push an initiative that makes sense and it sounds like this is where we want to go, and other places are going in the same direction, but you can't make it work unless your frontline teachers buy into it, believe it's a good idea, have invested and trained in it, and are willing to implement it. And again, it was a real surprise to me to hear the conversation over the pandemic period, because we were kind of giving a lot of flexibility to the teachers. And so when we heard where they were headed, we said, wow, wait a minute. We were so focused on buy-in, it sounds like they're trying to convince us that this is a good idea. And it's good to see things happen that way.
John, I just wanted to ask in closing, because I saw on your Twitter that you tweeted about your 10th year as superintendent. And I don't know how much of an answer we could get right here on the show, but I just wanted to ask, 10 years at GDOE, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that you're proud of. Maybe some of those and some of the things that you still want to accomplish as superintendent.
Yeah, I'm kind of focused more on things that need to get done, right? Things that still need to get done. I think that's kind of always what always drives me. And I think maybe when we look back after all is said and done, we can count accomplishments, and there are different things I'm very proud of. But what occupies my mind right now is just a lot of things that I just want to make sure we make progress on, that we promise. Things like Simon Sanchez. We're working on a master facilities plan, and we have $150 million dedicated to being able to improve our facilities. We've invested in technology, and so there's a lot of things we've been working towards that we're now able to kind of push forward, and we want to make sure those things happen. Looking back, we've done a lot of good things with regard to improving the graduation outcomes and graduation statistics for our kids. I'm proud of efforts like we're doing around JP Torres to make sure we don't kick kids out and try to get them toward the finish line. We have a real good partnership with our universities but especially with our career technical education programs at Guam Community College, the Trades Academy, such a good partner, and we want to build on that work. So I'm always looking ahead. I think I just happen to kind of reflect because, at 10 years, when you look at the Chief Council of State School Officers across the country, of which I am one, there's 54 of them, and I'm at the top of the list. And I said, man, things have really changed. I used to be at the bottom, and now at 10 years, I'm the longest serving, basically, Chief State School Officer in the country. And that's it's something you want to just reflect on. And with that tweet, I guess, part of that was because of a note that I received from a student.
Let me read that note out, John, so we get the full picture here. So in your tweet, you wrote, entering my 10th year as superintendent, this year is my opportunity to reflect and appreciate the honor of serving our kids. Here's a note from a student a few years ago, which made my day at that time. Sir, I just wanted to say that I'm glad I had you as a superintendent. You were always there for all the students. You were everyone's biggest supporter while going to all events, even events that you didn't need to go to, like the J. Rotzi 1 a.m. 5K, LOL. I hope I see you as a superintendent for many more years to come, so the incoming students can have a chance to know what a great superintendent is like. Sending best wishes your way in the upcoming school years. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, it was that 1 a.m. Rotzi run that caught my eye.
That's still the deal.
So, I mean, you can't turn a student down when they come to your office and say, we really like your support, and you say, well, what time is your 5K? It's at 1 a.m. It's it's supposed to be this global, everybody around the world doing it at the same time. I said, okay, I guess I'll be there.
And this is pre-Zoom era, so you had to be there in person.
Yeah.
Right on.
Exactly.
Well, congrats, John.
5K at the time.
Right on. Well, thanks for your time, and congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, John, we'll see you.
See you next week.
It's 9:03. Good morning.
Good morning.
Monday. Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm excited for GDOE because they haven't been full on. There's 80% returning.
Yep.
Students.
And we're talking face to face in class, in person, happening in real life in 21 days, Sabrina.
Yeah.
Wow. And so actually just reached out to Dr. Juan Flores, the Catholic school superintendent. So we'll be folding him into the conversation about reopening protocols and all that for the Catholic schools coming up in the next couple of days on the link. It's 9:04. We're going behind bars with Major Anton Uggan next, right here. So we'll be right back. Good morning.
Wings and
KUAM Digital presents a series highlighting the wide array of talents on our island. Whether they're a standout gamer, extreme athlete, performer, or have a unique skill to show off, we're showcasing them every month on Wow Factor. Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do. Get through the work week with a special office party from Uno Go and participating restaurants. Every week, we're delivering lunch from a local dining partner to one lucky office for up to 15 people. For a chance to win, all you have to do is 1. Register as a user on the Uno Go app or website. Existing registered users may be entered as well. 2. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook. And 3. Send us a message with your name, contact email, and phone number, your office, and its location. We'll draw a winner every Friday on the link on Breeze 93.9 FM on KUAM TV 11 and streaming on Facebook Live, and coordinate the day of your choice for lunch to be delivered the following week. We'll also feature your office celebration on KUAM News every Friday. Put smiles on your co-workers' faces and enter today. Open to Guam residents only. Conditions apply. See the Uno Go Guam Facebook page for details. Thanks to our participating restaurants, Beach and Shrimp, Lone Star, Jamaican Grill, Ajisen, Sing's Cafe, Pika's, and the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort.
This week's Office Party giveaway is from Jamaican Grill. Enter today to win.
Get yourself all caught up with the week's games, scores, and highlights with the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup on KUAM News Weekend Edition. It's all inclusive, all the fun and all the action wrapped up in the perfect presentation. Relive the moments on the KUAM Sports Weekend Roundup, brought to you by Gatorade. Greatness starts with G.
After a year with so many games and events delayed or unplayed, the world is ready for anything and everything in the world of sports. KUAM Communications is ready with more games, more championships, and more specials that are guaranteed to bring out the fan in you. Don't miss a minute of gameplay from NBC on KUAM TV 8 or from CBS on KUAM TV 11. Every month, we'll bring you the action and excitement. Brought to you locally by Michelob Ultra, Superior Light Beer, Marianas Irrigation and Landscape, and Docomo Pacific. Just more great reasons to tune in and turn on so you'll fall in love with TV again with the best from KUAM Communications.
We're on a mission to fill the bus with necessary school supplies and food for our island's children in need. The KUAM Care Force and Salvation Army, along with our partners GTA, Twinkles, Anderson Air Force Base, and Kloppenburg Enterprises, are collecting necessary items including school supplies and food items to help send our community's youngest and most vulnerable members back to school. New backpacks, notebooks, pencils, pens, crayons, and other donations are welcome, as well as food pantry items. Please do your part and give every child a chance to learn, grow, be nourished, and have a wonderful return to school. You may drop off your supplies to our Harmon Studios weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. up until Friday, August 6th, or come down to our finale between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 7th, where we'll be attempting to fill the bus with all your donations. Rise up to the challenge, embrace radical generosity, and help us fill the bus for Salvation Army and kids in need. See the complete list of items being accepted on KUAM.com.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage. With generations of Filipinos calling Guam home, KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city, featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by KFC.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
June makes the best malasadas in Hawaii, a fact not lost on Daryl, whose brother Byron is cooking the onaga he caught at his secret fishing spot with his girlfriend Malia, who used to work for the Shave Ice Guy, whose second cousin Vince drives the school bus ridden by Calais, whose auntie makes the best malasadas in Hawaii. Everything here is connected, and with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances, and it all starts with yes.
KUAM's multi-platform morning show, The Link, just got a little more delicious with Feed Me Fridays. Chris, Sabrina, Jason, and the rest of the morning crew will take some time off each Friday to talk, taste, and tempt you with all the latest and greatest food and drinks on Guam. Old faves, new hits, and everything else we can put in our bellies. It's Feed Me Fridays on The Link, brought to you by King's Restaurants, Ruby Tuesday Guam, and Devondale.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. A new musical competition series from NBC focusing on original music is in the works, and they're looking for contestants. American Song Contest is modeled after the hit European phenomenon Eurovision, which has produced some of the most talented performers the world has ever known. The show's looking for individuals and bands from all types of music to find and act in every state and territory, including representatives from Guam and the CNMI. Go online to AmericanSongSubmissions.com to enter and submit your original song submissions now. Must be 16 years or older, and groups cannot exceed 6 people. Additional conditions apply. So apply today and get ready to rep our island on the national stage. American Song Contest debuts next spring on NBC. KUAM Digital presents a series highlighting the wide array of talents on our island. Whether they're a standout gamer, extreme athlete, performer, or have a unique skill to show off, we're showcasing them every month on Wow Factor. Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do.
listening to The Link with Chris and Sabrina on Breeze 93.9.
Hey, good morning. 9:14. Good morning, KUAM TV. Right on. Morning, Jason.
Good morning.
Hey, you got more info on Uno Go, Olympics trivia, and a whole lot more coming up with Jason Solis.
Oh, yeah. Get your trivia hats on, everybody. I'm going to challenge you, and we're going to give you a really, really cool prize. We got a reusable bag, which everybody needs these days. So start getting into Olympic mode. Think about those 5 colorful rings. Think about what has happened every 4 years. Well, this year, the 5th year. That's coming up.
Thank you. The show is brought to you by Pacific Points, Cabo Enterprises, ITD, and Jack in the Box. Coming up, we're going to do an encore presentation of the fireworks from last night, but first, head into the KUAM News Zoom room. Major Anton Uggan of the Department of Corrections. They had a drone show at DOC, but it was a few years back.
You've been waiting all morning to crack that one out, right?
I've been waiting since last night, yeah. Morning, Major. Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Chris and Sabrina.
Good morning. Let's just get right into it. So we know that there was it a public hearing on a bill to build a new prison?
Yes, there was a public hearing on Bill 153-36. It was on Tuesday.
Right, and so we know that you were there for that, and then now you're telling us that you're actually going off island to do a little research here for the next couple weeks. Can you give us more details on that, Major?
Yeah, so part of the proposal by the consultant, part of our master plan project is called benchmarking and best practices. So what we were able to do is we were able to locate 2 different jails in the United States that are currently, one has just completed construction, the other is under construction. The one in Franklin County in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, it's under construction. It's a 700-bed facility with the planning to be able to house 3,000 in the future. So it's also a phased approach how they're building their facility. So that, I believe, is almost the last information, about 85% done, their facility. So we will, myself and the deputy director, will be visiting them and spending 2 days with them, speaking with the prison, the jail management, and the people involved in the construction of their facility, going through their whole facility as far as their design, the outlay of the facility, and basically just talking about their process and lessons learned and best practices, so that we could bring that information and use it, probably some of it, for our facility on how they got their process going. So that will be, I will be leaving tomorrow morning for Ohio, and then later in the week we go to Saginaw, Michigan, and we'll visit a new facility that was just recently opened earlier this year. It's a 511 bed facility and it's fully operational. So we'll be going through their facility and basically learning their process, procedures, everything from booking to releasing, security cameras, locks, doors, costs, how they did their costs, and all these other information. We will be meeting our consultant over there. Mr. Rogers will be there with us. He will join us in that area. And what we learned from this trip will also be put into our master plan that we will, we're anticipating have it done by the middle part of August. And that's basically the trip. And then I will be spending some time in Texas with my family to visit my mom, who's not doing well, and my sisters. So, my first time visiting. My brother did pass away earlier this year in Texas, and I wasn't able to go and visit him, to say goodbye. But now I get to see at least my mom.
Well, our condolences for your brother and prayers for your mom, Major. And what are some of the things that you're going to be looking at on this trip?
Well, we have a list of questions, everything from square footage to the design phase to the architects, the people involved in it, all their processes, how they do their booking, their video conferencing with the attorneys, and other stuff that they put into their facility. Medical, how they handle all their medical. We're going to look at their medical facilities and how they have that set up, their behavioral health, any mental health, and things like that. So we've already emailed our two POCs over there, point of contact over there, of some questions that we're going to be asking them, and they're more than happy to help fill us in and give us all this information that hopefully we will use in our process here as we move forward with designing our new facility.
Is it going to be pretty much like night and day, though, looking at our facility and comparing it to that new one, right?
I mean, there's going to be a lot of the differences, but we weren't really looking for correctional facilities or jails that are 3,000 people. I mean, that's a lot up there. So we tried to stay within our numbers of 700 to maybe 1,000, right? And so we can get an idea of it. There's not a lot of new jails being built, so it's kind of complicated looking for these places. Texas has a few, but with their COVID, they weren't really wanting to let us in, right? So it took a couple of weeks kind of getting them back and forth to say, hey, can we come and visit you? And we had to make sure, of course, they're making sure COVID vaccines and all those things are taken care of. But they finally said yes, and they're waiting for us over there in Ohio and Michigan, and it'll be a learning trip. Again, it's only going to be 1 week. It's being funded as part of our grant. It is part of the grant funding, so this is all federal money that's paying for the trip. Hopefully we'll gather, we're going to get a lot of good information that we could use in our process here.
Right on.
I did send you guys videos of it. I did send you.
Yes,
I saw, yeah. Thank you, Major.
Some videos of basically the facility and what it kind of looks like. And I only got that from my research as we were trying to identify facilities that we might be able to visit.
Right.
And so, that's basically, and I'll try to take videos when I'm back there. They let me.
We also understand that there was some drug testing that went down at the prison.
Yes. So, it's always been the director's intention to do the drug testing for the employees. We wanna do 100% testing of all our test designated positions, which is our officers. So I believe it was Monday, we were able to test 127 officers. Not all of them were tested, as much, because this was all random, right? We just walked in the morning. No one even knew it was coming, not even myself. No, we didn't know. Just walked in and there they are. Some of our officers are on military leave. They're out on sick status and other stuff. But our plan is to eventually get all the 187 test designated position, which is the officers, get them tested for, drug tested. So we're working towards that.
When's the last time random drug testing has happened over at DOC?
Around 2017. I believe it was under Lamorin at the time. Yeah.
Is it normal to have a 4-year gap between random drug testing?
No, I mean, you want to kind of do it every year.
That's pretty random, actually.
And after the year, do kind of random at least every now and then. But we've been pushing for this, and I guess with the COVID and some other things, it kind of put everything on the back burner. So this test was not done by, it was DOA people that came here, that the drug testing personnel from the Department of Administration that came and performed this. So we have to work with their schedule and their people, but we finally got it going, and for those that haven't got tested, we're working with DOA on how to best handle that so that everyone can get tested. But we already anticipate some will not be tested due to other issues, medical, like I said, military leave, and some are off island. So
Did anyone just flat out refuse to take the drug test?
Oh no. Everyone that showed up took the test. And there's a few that we called and they didn't respond. So what I did was we called them in, had them write a report why they didn't respond to our phone calls. So at least put that part of the record is why, we tried calling you, you're not answering why, and so we're serious about this. So we just gotta, make sure that they understand that we're serious about this drug testing.
There's another incoming coming up.
Well, we have incoming going on last week and this week. Our last day of incoming, let me look at my notes, is July 29. July 29 will be the post 7. That will be the last one, but we have incoming today, post 3, post 4, post 2, and post 8. And then tomorrow, again, the other units, and so forth, until the 29, and then we will have completed the incoming for July.
How you guys doing on financials over there?
Financials, okay, so I know everyone's asking about the COVID.
The COVID differential pay.
The COVID pay, yes, the COVID pay, I'm sorry, the COVID pay. So our administrative staff here, they have submitted, I'm looking at my notes here, they already submitted 2 pay periods down to DOA for processing. Pay periods ending December 19 and January 2nd. That's about $220,000. That's already been submitted down to DOA. So it's payroll week this week. So more than likely they'll be working on it next week, to pay it out. And then our staff will be submitting next week 4 more pay periods from January 16 to February 13. February 13 pay periods, and then February 13. Our ASO had to move money around from within our current budget, basically to pay this. So we're not getting any special funds. There's no special funds or anything being used. We're just moving funds from several accounts in here and to get this paid out. And that was at the director's, direction, as he wants to really get this thing paid out to the officers. So we are working on it. Hopefully they will see 2 pay periods next week.
Oh, so for COVID differential pay, you're using money within your own budget because you guys have not gotten any money from ARPA, from the ARP money, the American Rescue Plan money, which everybody else has been.
We're just working with our own budget right now to get this paid.
What about overtime?
Overtime, Sabrina, it's up to date. The officers have been paid their overtime, so we have no issues on that side. It's just the COVID pay.
Yeah. Sounds like you guys are going to be running out of money if you're paying out all this COVID pay.
Yeah, and again, our ASO is working. Again, when I spoke to her earlier, again, once hopefully this federal money kicks in and stuff, we'll be able to get some money and move it around to cover our shortfalls on what we had to do. Again, it's just a matter of budgeting and moving things around to try to ensure that our officers get some pay. And they deserve that pay, and so we're doing our best. Our director's doing the best to make sure they do get something.
This is something that would totally be covered under the American Rescue Plan Act funds.
I believe it would, but I'm not in that level to say 100%, but I believe it would.
Yeah, you know it would.
You know it would. Yeah. But has the director made any ask to the Gov? Like, hey, Gov, man, our officers are hurting. They need this money. Can you give us the PIN number for the ATM to the ARP to pay it?
Well, I'm maybe not like that, Chris, but the director, they have their cabinet meetings and stuff, and so this issue has been brought up several times, and the director does bring it up along with the deputy. And again, it's just we just have to be patient, just like everybody else, and kind of just wait for this thing to come through. But in the meantime, we'll do what we can on our side. It'd be nice if we can pay it all out at once, but that's not the reality of it. So we will do what we can to at least get our officers paid something, so they'll have some money. I mean, I would like to have mine too, because I'm going off Highland too, and my kids gave me a list of things to buy already. So I don't know.
Ooh, I know about that.
Yep.
Yeah, so that this extra money would help out. Hopefully that next week, then we got extra money.
Well, you know what? I know Acting Governor Josh Tenorio is a big fan of the Lincoln. He's probably listening right now, and I'm pretty sure he's doing what he can to release some of this ARP funding to put it where it needs to go, so that the hardworking corrections officers, the hardworking law enforcement officers, the hardworking mayor's staff, the hardworking public health employees can all avail of their long overdue COVID differential pay that the governor came up with in the first place.
And these are frontline people.
Yep, they're right in the front of the line. You know what I mean? The so-called frontliners that, we put up here in the COVID, yet on the other side, we're making them wait months for their COVID. It's really a shame. So shameful.
Was there anything else, Antone?
No, just that in my absence, I have Officer Jerika Sanchez. She will be taking care of the mugshot request. I'll send out an email later today, and her email address will be there. And if you guys need any information, you can email her and take it from there. She'll work with the director on, and then if they need to call me, or certain hours, I'll try to be available. But with the time difference, I don't know if I'll be able to respond right away.
Right.
Okay.
But Officer Sanchez will, any of the media inquiries, just send her an email and she will respond. Again, I'll send out the email later today, letting you guys know and who to contact.
Any, before we let you go, has there been any incidents involving CEOs bringing in contraband?
No, not recently, no.
Recently?
What's recently, though?
Well, no, we have no cases against any officer at this point.
Okay.
Bringing in anything.
Okay. Just checking. All right, Major, you good, Bree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the safe travels to you.
Yeah, safe travels, Major.
Wear 2 masks on the plane.
Oh, yes, I got it.
Okay, and make sure you eat a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I think our Dave Rogers wants to take me there because he's one of the gentlemen is helping us with our master plan. His name's Tom Parker.
Yeah.
His son actually operates a Chick-fil-A back in the mainland. He's one of the operators.
Wow.
So they want to take us there also to meet his son and eat at the Chick-fil-A restaurant.
The waffle fries, pretty good stuff.
Major, make sure to buy some of those tubs of sauce. I mean, it is in a tub, but man, the sauce is something that's something else, man.
You guys are making me malago. I never tried eating at Chick-fil-A.
I like Chick-fil-A.
Is it good?
Chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's Chick-fil-A, you know. But it's good.
Okay.
Thanks,
I'll
Major.
try.
Yeah. Thanks for making us malago. Send us, never mind the prison video, send us Chick-fil-A video. Okay, we'll see you, Major.
Take care.
Oh, there, Chris, I'll take videos just for you.
Thank you. Safe travels.
Okay.
That's that. Adios. Major Antone Uggan. Always good to get him on because he's a classified employee over at the Department of Corrections. A lot of experience, institutional knowledge, and I just also want to thank Director Joe Carbolito for making Major Antone available to us on pretty much any time we need info. It works out very well.
Yeah.
It's 9:31. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're coming back with Jason Solis next. Good morning.
KUAM Digital presents a series highlighting the wide array of talents on our island. Whether they're a standout gamer, extreme athlete, performer, or have a unique skill to show off, we're showcasing them every month on Wow Factor. Brought to you by Mountain Dew. Do the do. Uno Mixed. We're mixing it up on the last Thursday of every month with a look at lifestyle, entertainment, food, and so much more on the stations, networks, and digital platforms of KUAM Communications. Uno Mixed is presented to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Pepsi.
Get up and move, Guam! Join the mayors of Talafofon, Inilahan for Haan and Minagov, a great day to celebrate the reopening of our island at the Valley of the Lati. Saturday, July 31st from 10 to 5 p.m. Local artists, farmers, and Guam-made products will be on hand while you enjoy performances from our best cultural entertainers and musicians. Enjoy the finest food that Southern Guam has to offer. Help us open our newest attraction, the Micronesia Cultural Village. Tickets can be purchased online at valleyoftheLati.com. Haan and Minagov is brought to you by the Guam Visitors Bureau, Guam Economic Development Authority, Valley of the Lati, Jungle Riverboat Cruise, Kloppenburg Enterprises, Para Ipribetsu Itautauta, the Guam Brewery, Island Beverage Distributors, and the stations of KUAM.
My whole family is fully vaccinated because we understand the importance of it. I've seen my daughter, her boyfriend, and friends endure COVID, and I've lost family members because of the virus. I chose to get vaccinated to protect those around me, and most importantly, because of my parents. I'm Jonah Gancharfris, KUAM Senior Producer, and I'm a proud member of the vaccination.
Join the vaccination. Scan and plan. For more information, go to KUAM.com.
Brought to you by American Medical Center, your partner in healthcare.
Ekangok egan zan edza kifinut samoro giasuntun samoro kada dia gi KUAM News. Gatsa gi idaling na programa gilas 8 gi egan gi esla tomorrow streaming radio pedi KUAM News YouTube na channel para linabian fasilidad mizu. Malata fanita para mas información mentres sa diligencia isang presyosa na kulturata entry sesultan na sepbi kada dia ilingwahin natibo ni Itzamoro. Yasunto gifinut samoro sa nina fafatu zan pinalinunudzi ni familia mizu gi First Hawaiian Bank.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Make sure you're connected. The writing's on the wall. 'Cause if your mind's neglected, stumble you might fall.
Connection is a human necessity, one we need today more than ever. And with the new First Hawaiian Bank mobile app, you can stay just as connected to your finances. And it all starts with yes.
Do you feel like you're missing out on something? Make life more rewarding with Pacific Points. Earn and redeem points for bill rebates and free load at IT&E, discounts on fuel at Shell, vouchers at Foodies, and United Mileage Plus miles. You can even pay with Pacific Points at IT&E, Shell, and Foodies. Pacific Points. Do more, get more.
We're on a mission to fill the bus with necessary school supplies and food for our island's children in need. The KUAM Care Force and Salvation Army, along with our partners GTA, Twinkles, Anderson Air Force Base, and Kloppenburg Enterprises, are collecting necessary items including school supplies and food items to help send our community's youngest and most vulnerable members back to school. New backpacks, notebooks, pencils, pens, crayons, and other donations are welcome, as well as food pantry items. Please do your part and give every child a chance to learn, grow, be nourished, and have a wonderful return to school. You may drop off your supplies to our Harmon Studios weekdays between 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. up until Friday, August 6th, or come down to our finale between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday, August 7th, where we'll be attempting to fill the bus with all your donations. Rise up to the challenge, embrace radical generosity, and help us fill the bus for Salvation Army and kids in need. See the complete list of items being accepted on KUAM.com.
shining boy on the mind making noise. Thinking how your body couldn't be a little toy. Like a little kid in the candy shop. I had to walking over cause I love the way you walking by. Coming now, baby, and we can shine. And in due time, you can be
Okay, and we are back, everybody. The day after Liberation Day, we are going to set you up with a really cool prize if you have got your trivia hat on. Remember, I was telling you, get in Olympic mode, and that's what mode you should be in, because the games of the Olympiad in Tokyo begin in just about, 30 hours? Friday night on KUM TV 8:55 p.m. The opening ceremonies will take place. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But this is not the first time. You might recall, or you might not even know, that the games of the Summer Olympiad have been held in the land of the rising sun. So our trivia question today, Joster's got the little graphic here. If you can be the first one to tell me, when was the last time Tokyo hosted the Summer Olympics? We've got a reusable bag. It's got a really cool Breeze 93.9 FM logo on it and everything like that. We want to set you guys up. If you can call our number, right? 637-0094. Let me know, when was the last time Tokyo hosted the Summer Olympics, and we'll set you up with a bag. You can take it with you to all the stores. You can be environmentally responsible, and you can tell people, you can rock that logo and everything and say, I know my stuff when it comes to the Olympics. So just think about the Olympics, everybody. All of the amazing moments, the names that have come out of this. Think Mark Spitz, Michael Johnson, Carl Lewis,
Michael Phelps,
Michael Phelps, thank you.
Usain Bolt,
Tony
Hawk,
Karch Karai. Did you say Tony Hawk? Well,
isn't skating an Olympic sport?
The other Olympics.
Let's go to the phones though.
Skating should be, yeah.
They're blowing
okay,
up right now.
So first correct caller. All right, let's go to the phone line right now. Hafaday and good morning. Do you know when the last time Tokyo hosted the Summer Olympics was?
1964.
That is correct. Right off the bat.
What's your name?
Good job, sir.
Mike.
Mike, what's your last name, Mike?
Francisco.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you, what's your favorite Olympic event, and what are you most looking forward to watching when the Olympics finally start?
Well, lately, I've been watching the swimming. I'm into the swimming. I'm not a swimmer, but of course, Phelps made it really popular.
Right. What about the synchronized swimming? That's always fun to watch.
Man, I'm always at work. I have no time, but every time Phelps was on, I watched it because I guess I wanted to see if he broke so many records.
Right. Sabrina's a big fan of the gymnastics. In fact, there was someone I saw on Facebook from Guam who ran into Simone Bowles on a plane.
Simone Biles, really?
Biles,
Yeah. I guess it's the news, right? So the news makes it very interesting. Whoever they're putting on, and it kind of becomes interesting.
Yeah, definitely. And then there's the whole we're representing nations thing.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
No, you know what's actually really cool? Mike, you may appreciate this. I remember in the 2016 Olympics down in Rio de Janeiro, one of our track stars and now she's a two-time Olympian because she just graduated from the Naval Academy, Regine Tugati. She actually got a picture with Usain Bolt in the opening ceremonies, and she put that on Instagram, and I was like, wow. So Regine's going again. She's going to be one of our Olympians. So now she's a two-time Olympian.
Go ahead again, Mike.
I said the closest I came to the Olympics was when I was stationed in Germany. We actually went and visited where they held the Olympics there in Germany.
Well, the closest I've ever been to the Olympics is watching it Friday on KUAM TV. Mike, you can come by our studios here in KUAM and pick up your reusable shopping bag. It's a Breeze shopping bag. It's very nice.
All right, thanks for that. And yes,
Mike, is there any particular Olympics in all the years past and everything that's your favorite? Does anyone stand out for you that was the best for you?
I just Phelps. I really like Phelps.
Phelps, okay. Yeah. I'm a big 1988 guy in Seoul when the games were held in Korea. That was a really good one.
Yeah, those games had soul.
Yeah, very.
Nice. I actually left Korea in 1987. I was stationed there, so I just left before the Olympics there.
Oh, nice. Wow. Well, remember 96 when the games were held in Atlanta, and Carrie Strug, Bree was talking about gymnastics, when Carrie Strug literally nailed the landing on a broken ankle.
Right.
Yes.
Gymnastics makes me nervous, though. Like
I remember when Shannon Miller.
What's
Shannon
that thing?
Miller?
The pommel horse, or is it?
No, that's
got
guys.
gold because everybody was all hyping up
Hey,
Kim
Chris, I think
Zemeskel.
that makes everybody nervous.
Yeah.
The guys at least.
For real. I mean, whoa, how do you even practice something like that? I mean, one wipeout, I'm like, I'm done. There goes my career. Don't want to do this again.
Never mind your career. There goes any potential babies you might have.
Right. All right, Mike.
Okay, you guys have a great day.
Hey, yeah, Mike, so we'll be in touch. We'll let you know how you can get your bag, man. Thank you so much and enjoy the Olympics.
Yeah, just come by our KUAM studios in Harmon. We got a bunch of stickers on the window, and there's a number at the door that you can call.
Got it.
Got it. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Have a good day.
Stay safe.
That's right on.
Okay,
There you
so
go.
we'll be doing this every day for the competition of the Olympics. Every day we're going to have a different trivia question. So watch the Olympics. We're going to tie some of them into what's going on over in Tokyo. Everybody, please be safe. I know some of I'm a big sports geek, and some of my best memories are from watching the Olympics. I mean, you can put the big Supermax extension contracts and the endorsement deals and who's rookie of the year. And I mean, all that's really, really cool. But I mean, for any true athlete, there is no greater honor than to play for country.
Amen. It's 9:43. We're going to go ahead and do an encore presentation of the fireworks show from the Liberation festivities yesterday right here on the link. Good morning.
Disti igera man kombati man metkut na chamorus di man maonyang itanu magwaita masakrifisya ilinala niya Valianti dan netu Pamalawan dan lalahi Masin guaita i Islan guam Gikurason ka Dano irikwetu Put isakrifisyon niya Valianti dan netu Pamalawan dan lalahi Masin guaita i Islan guam Tinte fatai Anengung tegwian Kilitang finalaman motai Suspendisi guam
All right. So make sure you share that. Hundreds of people shared our Liberation Extravaganza. 77 years. Ever since July 21st, 1944, the U.S. Marines landed on the beach in Assen, what's now the War in the Pacific Memorial Park, and began a campaign to return Guam to U.S. soil. And we are eternally grateful for them for doing that. We also remember the lives of our ancestors that were lost, of course, and as the descendants of those people, we carry on their legacy, as we've been telling you through stories, basically all week long. I mean, it shouldn't just be Liberation Day. It's always Liberation Year, Chris.
9:56 Burger King.
Oh.
Where it's Chicken Fries Friday tomorrow. You go to Burger King, you order chicken fries, you say, I love chicken fries. And they're going to give you
How about if
another
you just cover all your bets and just say, I love the menu?
Yeah, I wonder.
Because you got the Whopper Wednesday, you got the Chicken Fries Friday.
Yeah. Try it out, see how it works. It's Cover Me, also brought to you by Docomo Pacific.
Take about.
Even if the sky was falling.